Hello, everybody, and welcome to SAC Season 5, Tournament 2, Round 1. Here we have Cascade Duck Crew versus Oi Pucon, and I'm joined here by...
Genie7, and yeah, we're gonna stick with that. If our pronunciation is wrong, please just hit us up on Twitter or something. But we're gonna go roll with it the best that we can. Yeah, for today's tournament, we've got Oi Pucon and Cascade Duck Crew starting off today. And I've been looking, and neither of these teams came in last tournament with these names, and unless they were scattered around on pickups with different names, neither of them have played in the previous SAC season opener.
Yeah, I did not see them anywhere either. And here we are opening on Zones Wahoo. A very interesting map, for sure. Always a hard zone to manage to cap, despite how small it is.
That's why it's so hard to cap, because of its size, and the fact that, like, 2 bombs on it will keep it neutral.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a hard zone to just keep neutral and be an absolute nuisance on. Missiles are also even more annoying than usual on this map, as you're really just forced into positions, and it's so hard to get out of them.
For sure. The other thing that people have to be cautious of is definitely like bomb rushes. Bomb rushes can be very, very devastating on this map, just because of, as long as you get those bombs to explode and you have like one teammate like trying maybe throw a Booyah bomb or throw missiles at that zone, it's next near guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also forces the other team to move back so much that they don't have much space to work with.
For sure. We will be getting into this first game. Best of 3 Swiss stage. There's 5 stages. You don't want to drop a game early, but if you do drop a game, then you can always come back later on in
Absolutely. And we are seeing a Hydra coming out from Oi Pucon, which is always exciting to see. They're double armor there with that custom Hydra and that Junior. And we see a pretty standard comp coming out from Cascade Duck Crew, with the exception of Slosher instead of what you would usually see as a K-shot.
That Slosher needs to have a lot of missiles because there's nothing that will be able to contest that range of that Hydra. And with the armors from the Junior and the Hydra itself, the uncontested range will be very important.
And we see the Junior here trying to get into this zone, getting ready with this armor, having to back off a bit from the Hydra, throwing a bomb their direction, as everyone's just moving, as Cascade Duck Crew is moving into the zone and just taking up as much space as they can, reacting well to these missiles, not going down to them, and managing to get 3 down on the side of Oi Pucon.
That was a great armor push. Just made it solid, the bomb pressure, and overwhelming the Hydra when its bullets needed to be recharged. Another thing we could mention about the Hydra is that those ink mines can be very good at helping stop flank and just putting them on zone. But to put them on zone, they need to get to zone, which is very difficult to do, especially with the comp. And going up against 4 specials.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so challenging to push in against that many specials. And the Hydra's gonna have a rough time with these missiles and all the bombs the Junior can throw out.
Those are all specials from both sides being popped out, and members have been falling mostly on the side of Oi Pucon. That's just going to be the Hydra left. There's so little time left. They need to be able to find something. That jump is definitely going to be punished. The Foil Squeezer does see it. And with help from that Slosher, this is going to be Cascade Duck Crew taking the first game. Extremely quick and extremely clean.
Really well played there by Cascade Duck Crew. They did such a great job just making sure that they were in the positions they needed. They got the picks they needed, and they made sure that they had specials ready before they moved in.
Yes, that was so well coordinated from Cascade Duck Crew. Just pure team play, and it felt like they knew the map just a little bit better. And knowing the strengths of it, and knowing what they needed to get done.
And next up, we're going to TC Inkblot Academy, which is a map that I personally think rewards aggression pretty highly.
You would be honestly 100% correct in that. Because of its nature and the tower path that it goes along. You need to clear out spaces. There's too many avenues for the defenders to hide that you just need to I call them defenders. I've been watching too much Valorant. Oh no. The opposing team, the defensive positions that they can take, just throwing bombs or just lobbing ink over top to stop that tower. They're too protected. The tower is way too exposed. So as a team that is pushing the tower, you need to be able to push the defending team out of position for sure. It's more so than other maps.
Absolutely. I will say, I think them having a Splatling like a Hydra or a Ballpoint on this map will be very useful for them because of that great area on top. From that great area, you can just control so much space with a Splatling, and you're so hard to contest even with missiles because you can just drop down below the grates for a second and you're protected.
You can, but I
and
think we're gonna be
that
having,
is a DC.
We're gonna be having replay. We will. Awesome thing about this DC is it's early, so we get to reset the lobby, and we also get to see what comps they're bringing out.
Absolutely. And we are seeing a Hydra coming back out, which is not too surprising for this map. Like I said, I think Hydra has a lot of space that it can work with on this map. I think its range on this map is great. It does go against the whole hyper aggression works really well on this map thing I said earlier, but there can always be exceptions.
I'm not as familiar with the player that is playing this Hydra, so I'm excited to see it. As a Splatling player myself, to see how disgusting a Hydra can, like, how aggressive a Hydra can be, can really make or break your playstyle. If you go so aggressive all the time, it can be easily punished, but if you don't go aggressive at any point in time, you're just a sitting duck. Just bomb, easy bomb target, even if they don't have a charger.
Mm-hmm. And just out of curiosity, what Splatling is your favorite?
Definitely the heavies.
Which heavy though? Everyone has a favorite heavy kit.
I'm gonna sound old, but the one with Ink Strike Wall.
That is a fun one. I personally really like Heavy Deco in Splat 2 a lot. It's one of my hot takes.
The bubble blower wall? Yeah.
How are they going to move you?
I have more.
You live there now.
I have more turf ink from that one than I do the remix.
I think it's a little bit underrated. I think it can hold positions really well. Is it a good weapon? No.
Is it underrated? Yes, because it's rated garbage tier.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it anything higher than like a B tier weapon? Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. But it's fun. It's a great time. And I think Hydra's in a similar boat of, is it going to be one of the best weapons in Splat 2? Absolutely not. Do people seem to be able to make it work and have a ton of fun playing it? Absolutely.
If you, at the stage that Splatoon 2 is, with how actually close Splatoon 3 is just knocking around the corner, if you're not having fun playing this game,
just stop.
Go play something else. Go outside. Come back in September 9th and have fun.
Exactly. And here we go, so getting into the actual game now. Same comps out of both teams, of course, as always is the case. And we are seeing double armor again out of PUCON, and we are seeing the same comp out of Cascade Duck Crew.
I will have to say that the Tri-Slosher pick is very interesting, especially it's the Rain Cloud one. Rain Cloud as the rest of PUCON.
And that is a full wipe onto Cascade.
Roll.
Getting full wiped this early on in this map is always so rough because they're able to push up so quickly, and they didn't lose a member in that process, so they just get free space here. They're getting free specials, and the Squeezer has those bubbles at the ready. They can just pop them, and that's often a free pick.
And that try going down. I was going to mention something about the try with the Rain Cloud. It's really nice for pushing and on the defense, but if you're not able to get it up because the rest of the members of the PUCON are just going in staggered, trying to fight these specials head first, they need to coordinate. They don't have much time left. That is a nice little kill on that slosher. They lose their ends up in the process. And these checkpoints
they're pretty much completely gone. The try not able to find the pick there. Hydra not really able to accomplish anything as they go down yet again. The Zap trying to make something happen, but not quite able to. And that is a 100-0 push, just showing what the power of a full wipe and well-used specials can do, along with just very solid mechanics out of Cascade Duck Crew.
Cascade Duck Crew going to be taking this first round in a absolutely throttling of a 2-0. That was, some 2-0s are close because of like overtime and 1 points. There was a combined total of 3 points accrued over 2 maps.
Yeah.
Away PUCON. So hopefully they can reset, because to qualify for gold bracket, you can still go in the gold bracket even with a 3-2 scoreline.
Yeah, absolutely.
And 4-1. 4-1 is calming. So who knows?
And silver and bronze are still worth trying to get into. About the top half of teams will usually make it into those.
Oh, for sure. And getting more confidence under your belt. Everyone has different expectations of their performances. It's the teams that do the best are the teams that say, hey, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna try and stir everything up that we possibly can, but let's go out there and try and win a bracket. Winning a bracket is coming first in silver is so much more rewarding than coming 8th in gold.
Absolutely. I will also say that I think there's something so great about seeing, not that either of these teams are low-level teams, but I love seeing low-level teams that I'm used to seeing in Minnow Cup or LSL even come out and play in SAC and just taking essentially free scrims. Like, why wouldn't you take the opportunity to play against people better than you and see what they're doing?
Yes, that much is true, and that's a good spot for us to throw it off to break and get us ready for round 2. Hello and welcome back to Swiss Round 2 for SAC Season 5 Tournament 2. I'm Genie7, and we have had a little bit of a early commentator swap. I'm already joined by Skepidillions.
Hi, Genie. Yeah, we're supposed to commentate the next block together, but Nox and I swapping tournaments mid-commentary block, so you just gotta do what you gotta do to help the scene, Genie?
Well, for sure. Just gotta help the scene grow as much as we can. Get a nice, strong foundation, because that's really all we're doing here. Getting a strong foundation for Splatoon 3.
Absolutely, that is what we are all here for. So I encourage everyone, if you want to start getting in the commentary, the scene is in need of it, so please do.
We do the number of times where I'm like, oh yeah, I can commentate, and then don't have a commentary partner. It's crazy. I was supposed to be going on a trip to Germany. I was supposed to be in Germany right now, but I was the only commentator signed up, and I'm from Canada.
Yeah, it's hopefully with Splatoon 3 coming out, we have more people looking at the scene and seeing the possibilities of what they can do as competitors and as production partners and TOs and stepping up. But speaking of stepping up, we have Up the Ante, raising the ante versus BlueMoon. So, starting on Clam Blitz Macomart.
Clam Blitz Macomart, a very, very scrappy, chaotic map. More so than any Clam Blitz map. And I know you're happy.
Yeah, Blob Lobber seeing Toes on that blob with comeback. I know that they have been practicing that a lot and are very good at it, so I look forward to seeing what he can do there. And then the slosher counter on the side of BlueMoon being that tri-slosher.
Oh. Absolutely destroyed coming out of the side of that Blob Lobber. Just having that range advantage. But the range advantage only goes for so long. Oh, but the flank coming around! Great job from Safa coming out with that nice, clean double to stop that push from BlueMoon in an instant. That was beautiful.
Yeah, very good play from Safa there, a player that I have not seen on Up the Ante quite yet. Very clearly showing how they can bring the pedal to the metal. Toes trying to take control of that right stack, having to deal with that tri-slosher in the hands of Port Mac, but Port Mac getting caught tripping up on that missiles as Up the Ante has that power clam and begins their opening gambit.
Yeah, with Dice cleaning up that little bit of a push, I say it every time because it's so important. A push at 80, even if it's a small lead, it's a lead. And if the game ends right here, right now, we've won the game.
Yeah, but the danger with Macomart clams in particular is giving your opponents that pity clam, and then the map is just so small that it's easy to clear from one side to one side. Is this Garrett on the T-Tech?
For sure, that's what we're seeing. Coming up with a nice inkjet shot, doesn't have a direct connection, but has put some nice damage down on that try. trying to help their team get some more points in, and that is a massive, massive, massive lead. All the way down to 28 points, and there's still members alive.
That is a huge, or I would really consider this the Annie's opening push from them there. Jazzacorn in a cheeky 1v1 behind the basket with Saffra does manage to get that pick, but now Up the Ante has really extremely set themselves up for a dominant rest of the game, knowing that all they need to do is if they only have one push like that, being that push that we just saw, they just need to keep applying chip in terms of points here and there, and they are coasting right on through to victory if they can hold this.
If they can, but it's not looking so strong. Their junior's back in spawn. Oh, gets a great bomb kill on Port Mac. Mac just taking that bomb in the face. Here come Juice trying to get back in with that junior's limited range. Does have the rest of the members pushing BlueMoon back. This Emma on this knot is looking to find some more space. But with their teammates going down and the basket closing, it's probably time to retreat.
I did like how Juice was rolling those bombs at her feet to break in, just pressure here, pressure there, and creating enough space for the members of Up the Ante to have an easier time clearing back in and clearing their own freezer. So wonderful play from there, and Up the Ante still holding a dominant lead with 2 minutes left in the game, and significant special advantage with that storm coming out, and no doubt following with those armor missile combos as we see right here.
Armor and missiles have been popped, and that rain cloud already being down, but no members of Up the Ante falling. That's going to be devastating for BlueMoon. Not as devastating as that team wipe, though.
Yeah, 4 down with Up the Ante already underneath that basket. Garrett popping that jet up that left side, keeping the members from BlueMoon from garnering a strong defense. It does look like their landing was at risk, but not at risk enough, because Up the Ante with toes on that freezer, just creating enough chip for the remaining members of Up the Ante to come in for a KO. A dominant game 1 from them there.
So far, we've had 3 games on stream, and all of them have been very, very one-sided. Hopefully that doesn't show throughout the tournament. But that was great. Even though that was so dominant, we saw 2 more dominant matches earlier. I have no words for it.
I do want to talk about. Yeah, there was fantastic coordination there from Up the Ante, and given the new members that they do have on their roster, I'm very, very happy to see that. Like I said, I've never seen Saffra playing with Up the Ante before, and then the other member that they did have there being I take it back. That's my handwriting's pretty bad on my notes. So yeah, just a very, very good team play there from Up the Ante. I do want to talk about the previous results that they have had within this tournament and this past week. Up the Ante did just go down 0-2 to Destiny Troops. Obviously, Destiny Troops being a strong Div 3 team. So when you're fighting an SAC and you're breaking in from that alpha bracket, low ink moment into these SAC mid-level tournaments, you are going to experience some difficult matches. But regardless, I'm sure that made them feel warmed up for this match against BlueMoon. And then BlueMoon did take a game off of 64, which is a Legato-esque pickup, and who got second in Hammerhead this week in SOS. So both of these teams facing challenging opponents in their round 1.
Dynamo, Blobber. That is it screams lockup. It screams bridge control. But it also screams being very, very slow and methodical. Up the Ante is going to have to play a slow push, but the slow push is going to win out versus the range. It's going to take a lot of work for BlueMoon to try and get back into these zones. They can't just walk in the front. The front door is going to be clogged with them.
Well, they are used to playing around both Dynamo and Blob being a staple of their comps, at least for the majority of 2022 so far this year. And Toes did flex Dynamo for a hot minute, so it's something that the rest of the team is used to playing around. But as I say that, BlueMoon does manage to get the first cap of the zone, and they are very quickly pushing all the way up into Car. That is going to force Up the Ante on their back foot, but getting it picked quite huge, because now you've delayed them Inkjet, which is such a powerful tool for locking out spawn on the reef.
It was a smart idea from BlueMoon to go that aggressive. They need to not let the Dynamo and the Bubblers set up But the problem is that they didn't take away the space fast enough. Yes, they were in car, but being in car against a Dynamo isn't where you need to be. You need to be below that ledge, and you need to be sharp.
And up the ante, it does look like they are sitting comfortably in order to be able to take that lead here, especially with the Booyah Bomb from Safra on that Dynamo ready to go. Garrett setting up for a sharking position here on that left tree, trying to keep the members of BlueMoon even further out. BlueMoon has a lot of work to be able to get in here, but they do manage to cap that Booyah Bomb, quickly bringing the zone neutral once again, though. Up the ante, having a little bit of penalty points to work with here, but sweet picks from Garrett, unfortunately being canceled out on that inkjet by Jazz.
Jazzcorn coming out absolutely clutch for the team to keep those zones flipped onto their side. It was so dangerous. Picking that 2v2 fight out, though, was so smart with the Nautilus. Unfortunately, for the side of Up the Ante, they lost their members in those fights. But this push coming back from them is looking very, very strong. They're finding the members' advantage in those fights.
Two going down on the side of BlueMoon. Jazz in that corner up against an Inkjet, very thankfully able to jump out as Up the Ante is in control of the zone. Up the Ante doing a really good job of getting in the positions that they need to be. We do see the Dynamo and the Blob playing that right side, keeping BlueMoon out from that leftward push. But BlueMoon does have 3 specials ready to go. They are pushing in together. Portmac dropping on that zone. It does look like they are going to be able to get the cap here.
They've overwhelmed the long-range weapons. Now they need to take the fights against those short-range weapons to force them out and not just let them jump out. They did let the Junior jump out, but not very close to the armor. Let's say, Junior close to the armor. You're only at 20%, but now they're at 7%. Say that.
BlueMoon does look like they are going to have a good chance of pulling lead here. The Blob locked out on that left side does try and push in, but the Junior getting a pick on, the Dynamo getting a pick on that Nautilus. Safra also whipping around and getting that trade on Dice. This could be huge for Up the Ante.
But Portmac is just sitting in that zone, sloshing for days, absolute days, popping at ink armor, refilling their ink tank. And that's going to be pushing the Bull Bobber back. But a great bomb from Juice. Now they're going to go try and help Toes, but the Nautilus forces them back. Don't want to take that fight. With the zone war, it has been won by Up the Ante. That was a great way to come back in.
And getting 2 picks, make that 3. That is, if they get the K-shot here, that is a delayed wipe. But this could be huge for Up the Ante. If they manage to take lead here, they are going to be that much more comfortable, given that there is only a minute. You just beat Garrett! That's how you get away with that!
You can't let that happen. Your teammate's sitting in spawn trying to fight, and you just watch them die? Garrett getting away with absolute murder, and that's gonna be so difficult with the Booyah Bomb. There's very little time left. And Ink Armor to the side of Up the Ante. Ink Armor on the side of BlueMoon as well, though. And another one being popped, but can they get to the zone? Garrett's just causing so much of a nuisance, so it's gonna be neutral. But for how long? They're being flanked. They're not even looking at Garrett. Garrett just has free farm just to shoot at everyone in the back.
An absolute menace play from Garrett there. Never quite being cleared out of car as BlueMoon tried to make that final salvo for the zone, but you know, you gotta clear your backside first, and Garrett absolutely capitalized on that. And just yeah, causing a lot of trouble there. Up the Ante taking the set. But you know, not the last game. They have won the battle and the war, but BlueMoon not gonna go down without a fight.
Yeah. Garrett just, it was a little bit of, it was a big mental lapse from BlueMoon. Just seeing, like, oh yeah, our teammates got that. There's one person just sitting over by car. Garrett's just chilling. And then realizing the clock is going down. Garrett followed them all the way from car. From car into past the first zone, into the middle, underneath of both the zones, and was still shooting at them, and no one looked at Garrett at all. Maybe when the clock finished, they finally looked at Garrett, but the game was over.
Yeah, I have seen Garrett play Squiffer and is quite a menace at it. They are a player that you just can't rush down because they will hit every shot. And this is my first time actually seeing Garrett on the T-Tech. So I did see that they were planning on no longer one-tricking Squiffer on Twitter back, but I had no idea that they were switching towards a shooter. So showing that mechanical skill that I know they honed over a long time with that Squiffer on the T-Tech, still taking the same aggressive positions, being able to use the same special, which is a very high skill curve special, that being the Inkjet, just a phenomenal play there. And you know BlueMoon in their comms was like, we have to cap zone, we have to cap it now, and just with that paint coming in from behind them, not able to do so. Menace play.
Menace play. And with that, we will be heading into round 3. And we'll see you after the break.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SAC Season 5. We are in round 3 of our Swiss stage in our second qualifier. That is a mouthful, and speaking of a mouthful, we have Triggerfish Zone Supremacy versus Heatwave with a little bit of a mix-up, Genie.
We do have a little bit of a mix-up. Heatwave is only going to be using 3 players, because they cannot... even though they have 5 people on the roster, only 3 of them are able to be playing at the moment. And it has been approved by staff, so it's going to be a 4v3 this whole time.
You know, I don't know about this whole time. I think we're going to have to keep an update on the rules between sets. However, yeah, we are seeing a 4v3, which is better than nothing?
Content.
I guess? Content?
Kraken came in with VC and said, content.
Yeah, you know, at least one of those 3s is a Kunder. I live for that.
Yeah, Kunder is definitely the weapon I would take into a 4v3. Never in a million years. But the bamboo choice, if it's a comfort pick, it also is just a good pick. In this scenario. It can be explosive. But Fresh is going to be going for a flank on this Rainmaker. The Rainmaker is going to be starting its push. Even though we are not on Triggerfish, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy is marching their way downtown.
Yeah, if I was Heatwave, which I'm not, but if I was, I would be playing this as stupid and silly as possible.
You have to have some order against your opponents, though.
Well, I mean, it's a 3v4.
Yeah, it's hard to commentate this because it's a 3v4. It's like watching a team that has a D. It's kind of like get ready for the next kind of thing. I think they come out because they have one under your belt. They wanted to play a 3v4 for content. I think you just say what weapon you guys want to play and play the next map for content, like full content. Get this. We're looking for like 1 million+ views here on YouTube. Get the TikToks going. We want a Splatoon, like the Gmod thing where they get the Inklings to do certain things. We want like a TikTok dance with one of those. This is gonna be legendary Blitz Piranha Pit game of your life. And I think we should, because it's a 3v4, we should alter the rules and make it so it's Camp Triggerfish.
Bro! Genie, no! Quit talking out of your behind!
Alright, I'm turning around now. Alright, hi. What's going on?
No,
Wait, we're doing a 3v4?
No, what? No, Genie, I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
For this next game, I want you to make as many puns as possible. Can we do this?
Possible.
Yeah, as many.
Oh, that's hard.
I know, but we might as well have fun with it, Genie, for the content.
That's okay. You know what? I'm going for it.
Yeah, any pun. It could be about the map geometry. It could be about the player names. It could be about the map. It could be about weapons. Like literally anything.
The problem is that the more puns I force,
the worse they're gonna get.
The higher the chance of me getting canceled because of the pun that I use.
Oh no! Watch yourself, G.
I'm gonna filter absolutely everything that comes out of this.
Yeah, no, I am going to have some fun.
I'm wondering what everyone's picking. I really want. What would be the coolest thing to see would probably be a whole bunch of umbrellas. Okay, you said blob.
Always. Yeah. I got blob on the brain in my single brain cell, bro.
That much is true. And we're gonna be seeing a standard comp and a standard comp. Sad days.
Genie just confirmed that I have a single brain cell. I'm so offended.
But the single brain cell that you have is really good.
Thank you.
It's focused on Splatoon, so don't worry. I've got like 3. And one of them's on Splatoon, one of them's on Pokemon, and one's trying
This Kunder ain't going under. We have Freshie at the basket. Clam blam, thank you, ma'am.
Ooh, Freshie looking fresh as New Year's can be with the popping the bottle as well. But Kraken coming out and kind of just painting the umbrella. Have you ever tried to paint an umbrella?
I painted umbrella. I own one. Does that count?
I actually don't think I own an umbrella. My parents have
I think you need to purchase an umbrella. We have Luna, Smootha under the back.
Luna with the schmoovas.
Yes, thank you.
Trying to schmoova the way to stop this basket. We got Mewtwo using them psychic powers. Unfortunately, is not as overpowered as in Gen 1 because there is still a dark type, and that dark type is
Kraken Mare is that dark type.
sure. Yeah, Kraken's a dark type.
100%.
Confirmed. Kraken dark type.
Yeah, we have Miko with the Pico on Kraken Mare, knowing exactly where they are.
Yo,
it's more Pico.
It's Marnie's more Pico.
Oh my god. Let's see. Heatwave having gotten points, but not all the
Kraken dropping that splashdown like he drops the beat. Wait, what?
And this mic, cause
these puns are really rolling. They're rolling like a square cube.
They're rolling like those splat bombs from Mewtwo towards that basket.
You just should really just put a blue barrier.
It's not Splatoon 3, we don't have Big Baller yet.
Ah, yes. We like big ballers and we cannot.
Why?
Wait, what? Is that a bomb kill? This is just pure chaos.
I was not there for the final Splatfest, but if I had, I would have chosen Chaos because of sets like these.
I forget which team I chose. Honestly, because I didn't want to like hurt my friends, so I had my alt account pick one and my main account pick the other.
Nah, man, you got a full sender bust, bro.
Whoa.
Like Smork here.
Pork in the schmork. Schmork in the pork. Goblin down on that pork
basket.
Pork on the cob.
It's not pork mackerel. This is piranha pit. Oh, Kraken with that super dumb splashdown. Missing. I don't think he hit the basket.
Kraken's trying to go from behind, but does realize that the end zone in this game, you can actually score a basket with them football thingies from behind the end zone. I don't know. I tried to do as many puns as.
It's not over. We still have another match. We still have another match.
It's 2-0.
Oh, it's 2-0. You're so correct. Sorry, I just got a mic for another tournament that's playing off me.
See, the single brain cells only focused on this tournament.
Yeah, I need to step it up. I need to splash up, not splash down.
Oh, I like that one. You get an applause for that one.
Oh, thank you.
Realistically, though, for everyone that's watching, I can give you a little bit of a bracket update because that was a little bit of a quick set. We are going to be going into round 4, and this is the difference. A lot of these teams, this is with all the matches not being done. This is where you start to see who's going to make what bracket. If you have 3 wins under your belt right now, you're almost guaranteed. You're not really guaranteed because if you have 3 wins with how Swiss works out, you have a really strong chance of losing out on Gold Cut. 4 wins and you're in for Gold Bracket. Silver, 3 and 2 should get you there, but there should be one maybe 2 teams that are 3 and 2 that don't. But if you don't have 3 and 2, then you're in bronze. We got definitely some good teams with matches that aren't quite done. Like our defending champs aren't here, so Liar is actually our Splatoon money betting favorites. Don't actually use real money to gamble in Splatoon because it's not real yet. But we do have some good matches to be coming up your way that will be a lot more serious. I do have to say Splatoon is a fun game, so it's fun to have some fun a lot of the times.
I will say I've never commentated a match like that. I have been commentating for a year. I have commentated over 50 tournaments, and I've never commentated a 3v4.
Oh, I was gonna say you've never commentated like something just silly like that. I'm like, you've never commentated Salmon. And when you come to Canada to visit me when Splatoon 3's out and we got the Squid Socials once a month, you're gonna come to one of our legendary samurai graphics. And,
I would love to. That sounds lovely, honestly.
yeah, they're the most fun.
Well, now that we are done with that.
Whatever that was.
Whatever this was, we're gonna take a break to clean our brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, get back to it. Well, we'll see you there.
Be right back.
Hello and welcome back to SAC Season 5 Tournament 2. I'm Genie7, joined by Skepidillions, and for this round we have Paradox versus Crimson Quake. Little thing that we have to know, because this is the time when we start seeing who can make gold, who's going to make silver, and who's going to go into these bronze brackets. Winning those brackets each would be very nice. We want to make sure you show the best gameplay that you possibly can.
Each of these teams are 1-0 so far in Swiss. Paradox having beaten Midnight Chaos, losing to Naptime and Axel. Naptime being defeated by Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, which we saw last round. And Crimson Quake having lost to 64 in SynRG, but beating Red Sun, who got second in the last edition of SAC Season 5. So, without further ado, we will be starting off on Tower Control Reef.
I like these two comps. They're very short. You got your short range, you got a mid range, and then you got your backliner. Very kind of by the book comps. I want to see what these teams can come out with. The early advantage is definitely inside of Paradox.
Yeah, Paradox, I do love that V heavy coming out there for that Stingray. I didn't catch that player name, but I love that pick. It's just such a good pick. The Splash finding themselves in a very, very vulnerable position, popping that bomb rush and dancing all over the place, does get picked by.
And that's gonna be a nice early first checkpoint is so nice on this map. You win and lose this stage easily by that second checkpoint, and having that heavy on that tower being pushed off because of that ink armor. The end up's going to be jumping out along with the heavy, preserving the ray on the side of Paradox. With that first checkpoint going down, and pushing it to the second doesn't really matter all that much. But that first checkpoint down within the first minute is great. This ray is coming out extremely early, and no one is able to follow up on it. So I'm very interested in that choice of ray.
Yeah, and before the first checkpoint too, and that first checkpoint does come free, relatively speaking, for the team on offense. Bloody there clearing that checkpoint rather handedly, as Crimson Quake does find themselves in a 3-down situation with that 52 having to jump out. Both teams neck and neck pretty much, having cleared those first checkpoints, which by far are the easiest checkpoints to clear on this map.
Yes. Second, even though third is more difficult, but second is where you make or break. Because it's so easy to just stall it with bombs, with missiles, with anything and everything.
Yeah, and specifically the Booyah from that 52 could make it very, very difficult.
Yes. But as you say that, like, Gal has retreated with that Booyah bomb at the ready. When you're seeing Johan trying to push up this tower to get that checkpoint down, but losing your Enzap companion is going to make that a little bit more difficult. But the trades are going out. The heavies had to fall off, but that Keisha uses their missiles just to try and stall out tower. Unfortunately, going down before anything can really happen.
A very, very neck and game, having passed in the first 2.5 minutes. Honestly, that raid does come out again a little early. Or is it? But
big,
you know, I mean, when you're just that cracked, you know, you do just do Ray things.
Skill diff. If there's a match chat in Splatoon, that was just skill diff right there.
Yeah, honestly, thank God there isn't a match chat.
Yeah, please do not put that in Splatoon.
Please.
I do not want an 8-year-old coming into my game and
No.
after they kill me once.
Matt here is sharking with those missiles. Crimson Quake popping both sets of missiles at the same time. Hopefully following up with that, pushing up that ray on.
Matt, don't let your teammate die.
Yeah. Oh
Wait,
no!
you got away with murder. Oh, I just got 3. What? How do you not let that? How do you not cap that jump?
Oh man, yeah. I mean,
standing at the base of that jump, and your teammate abandons you, and comes up with 3. Murder.
You know, I think we're seeing lots of skill diffing here so far. Those missiles coming out from Crimson Quake, who do take the lead here in a 3v3 scenario. If they manage to clear this checkpoint, that could be huge, but they are 2 down with a great ray coming out from Manawi.
Absolutely, that bomb rush is throwing bombs, suction bombs slowly and surely, one on one side of the tower, one on the other, making it so you can't stay on that tower. And then the ray just seals it off. Even though it is lead lost, if that checkpoint is still intact.
Yeah, and Paradox, if they manage to just get on that second checkpoint for just a hot moment, they can pull lead here. Johan trying to push up into that cut, but managing to live, which is just so pivotal. And 1 point, the lead does fall as Paradox does clear that second checkpoint, heading towards that third. Logan able to jump into main here, 2 down on the side of Crimson Quake as Paradox does clear that third checkpoint.
Third checkpoint being gone. Second checkpoint and the third can snowball so quickly because of how tight they are. And with 12 points on the board, if I'm Paradox, I'm just like painting, trying to see what you can get done. If you lose a member, all hightail it. You're really close to your missiles. Your armor's not quite there yet, but you have that ray. That GG ray is so good. An early Booyah Bomb and 2 missiles, 2 members down on the side of Crimson Quake, looking like Paradox. Even though they're riding the tower, the game. They're still riding the tower. How did none of Crimson Quake even want to go over and fight that?
Yeah, well, they did have significant special advantage. I believe that Paradox had taken that tower as it fell back to like where that first checkpoint. I don't think they were on it continuously. But yeah, regardless, having to deal with those missiles and that ray in overtime would have been very hairy for Crimson Quake regardless.
Yeah, it was looking all but done. And it ended a little bit sooner than we thought. One thing that I need to kind of set the stage a little bit for both these teams. Both teams are 1 and 2. On the side of Crimson Quake, the 2 teams that they lost to placed gold last tournament. Meaning that if they win this match, which means they have to win the next 2 stages, and then win their next match, their Swiss score, as long as the teams that they had lost to earlier were a challenging opponent, they could make it into the 8th slot in gold bracket. So they're one of the few teams that has the Swiss advantage on their side.
Well, Paradox has to be making them a little paranoid as we move on to Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track. I do like Crimson Quake's comp better here. For this map, what they were bringing to the table with that splash on the 52 in particular, I think that could very heavily capitalize on this map mode, which clearing that elbow is everything, and I think Crimson Quake's comp, based off of the previous match, does have the tools to do that.
As a heavy spotlight enthusiast, this for the vanilla heavy with that ray sprinkler.
True.
It's superior to the jet squelcher, even though without the rain. I find it just a little bit more superior in your mobility and that power of popping your Rainmaker. People don't realize, but you can go and buy a house in the current day and age before a jet squelcher pops Rainmaker.
I guess so. Crimson Quake does manage to get that pop in the opening salvo. They do have missiles online ready to go, but as I say that, the mat does go down as well as the 85 player. I believe that is Bloody. Paradox being able to grab that Rainmaker and start pushing it along the right side.
This ray goes right now. That's going to be disgusting. It's a beautiful spot to ray. You ray the spawn. None of the members can come in. But those missiles are going to help slow it down. But that's just such a good push. Sorry, I cut you off. Yeah.
No, you're perfectly fine. You captured the action where it was needed. That is a good opening push there from Paradox, getting it to 28 remaining. But that is a very beatable lead for Crimson Quake if they manage to get the Rainmaker in the elbow, get that hammer out with that ray in the right conditions.
Yes, that ray and that right elbow is so disgusting. You get the members down, you pop that Rainmaker, you go immediately, and with that ray, everyone has to spawn, and they perfect. Oh, that stamp gets taken out at the wrong time, but that ray kind of gets everyone down right at the right time when it needs to. Johan's going to want to try and escape, but unfortunately not able to. And here they go. Crimson Quake is going to be able to go in that scenario. And if they pop the ray at the right time, they can get these spawns. But I believe it's the Jet Sculpture that has the Rainmaker, so they're not going to have that advantage.
Yeah, it is the Jet Sculpture that has that, but they do have the hammer halfway there from that sploosh, but they are going to go down at 32. That push is going to come to a close. Just that hammer, but I believe that they did jump out. So Paradox in control of mid and nearly at that elbow again.
And they are guarding the Rainmaker, which is smart because that 7 was still there. Ooh, beautiful combo from Logan. And able to get out with their life as well.
Yeah, Paradox getting that pop again. Crimson Quake having 3 specials online ready for offense or defense. They managed to get in here. The missiles coming out from Matt, but look at all those burst bombs on that bunker. Oh, that poor Squid.
Poor Squid. Oh, and they're able to get out with that nice little jump away. Able to help the defense when it comes back again. Logan with his bomb rush is going to be popping it now, trying to stop that ray. Does get one. That ray is going to most likely die to that. But the Rainmaker has been stopped in mid. Great job from Crimson Quake. They were in dire straits there, and luckily came up with a miracle. Oh, and the stamp comes out! Logan just dodging and weaving, unfortunately not able to survive. And here goes the stamp, and it gets a double yeet! Ooh, coming out clutch again!
Oh man, now able to push up, getting that Rainmaker, getting a pick with that Rainmaker. All those burst bombs was coming out. That is just so much ship for the Rainmaker to deal with. The Ray not coming out. Oh, now it is out. So can they get the pop here? This could be huge for them. Matt grabs the Rainmaker, starts gunning forward. What? Oh my God! Okay, they pull.
The tactical Squid bag coming in clutch. The heavy coming out. That Ray made all the space. They forced one member who had short range into zone. They got off the rail because the rail got changed in color. And the other member died on rail, leaving only one of the members of Paradox alive. Crimson Quake coming up clutch. Let's be honest, that all started because of that hammer. That hammer was legendary.
Yeah, that was an excellent hammer play there from Cap, and then getting the remaining members of Crimson Quake into that elbow just did a fantastic job. And Matt brought out my stutter with that Squid bag, which doesn't happen often on mic.
Oh, it's you know you've done an insane play when Skep is just lost for words.
Yeah, my tongue just getting a pick on Bloody there. Logan now falling back. They have time, right? They have that bomb rush. So if they get into elbow, get a good repop, they can pull lead here. But you know, Crimson Quake is having Paradox quaking.
Ooh, oh, that was a good one. When they flow well, they hit. That stamp is not going to be as. Cap isn't going to get as much done with that one. If you see a member that they want to punish, have to watch out though, because that heavy is not alive. Never mind, not alive. I thought that was the heavy that was shooting down on him, but it must have been the K shot. Matt does have these missiles at the ready. Looks like Crimson Quake is just going to go for the defense.
And getting the pick on that 85 from the hands of Silver is good, right? Because the 85 typically would be the Rainmaker handling. 2 down on the side of Paradox as we headed to make that 3. Cap going in, up into that spot. Cap has no cap up at their pedestal with that hammer, but does get flung around by Logan there.
But that raid has been used. Logan needs to kill this Jet Sculpture. No, they didn't kill the Jet Sculpture before they got the Ranger. But luckily, Silver's able to make a nice little escape. Jet Sculpture's looking to get some kills. Silver taking it for the bodyguard. Staying alive today, Mr. President Logan.
Yeah, Logan dancing on that bunker, but there's only him and Johan trying to figure out how to get into that elbow. They are getting the picks that they need to, but all it takes is one moment, and Logan is wearing down that timer.
Missiles?
The missiles? No! Oh no! It's pinned! Oh no! The Ray is out! Yeah, GG. Oh man, what a game!
That was... It's been a long time since I've seen a back and forth map on Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker. And that was absolutely... That one was legendary. Definitely best match we've had on stream all day. Logan! Get 20 kills going down. Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, you know, we're at the stage in Swiss, which is, you know, it's how Swiss works. The first several rounds tend to be the most one-sided, and then the further down you get in Swiss, the more even it gets because of, you know, how it's calculated. It is just the nature of the beast. So we are in our first 1-1 of the day, correct, Jeannie?
Yes, first 1-1 of the day, and also first match that was really actually entertaining and close, not a one-sided affair. And also, like, first comeback, because, oh no, our first match of the day was a comeback, because the team that capped zone first lost the game. They capped zone, lost zone, and never took it back. Technically a comeback. A comeback is like, a 3-point comeback is not, when you have it at 97, doesn't hurt.
You know, that was just genuinely an exciting match. I said I thought Crimson Quake had the comp diff heading into that game, and we gushed over the B heavy from Minari for a moment, and then Crimson. It looked like Paradox was going to win that, and Crimson Quake said, "No, you thought." And just that play from Matt there with the tactical bag, that was funny.
That was honestly beautiful. I'm just looking at the bracket as well. We've got some other good 1-1s going right now. We've got SynRG and Liar. They are 1-1. And Foam's 17. And Woomy, Unlimited Woomy United is also 1-1. Well, they're 1-1 with Foams. And those teams are, give or take, the top 6 teams, because we have six of the 8 teams that made it, that were in gold bracket last time, that are still here, and those matches are key matches. Those can really differentiate who gets an easier way to through bracket, but you'll most likely see those matches happen again. But right now, we have our 1-1 on our hand. Crimson Quake, Paradox, all comes down to this.
As we head into Snapper Canal on Clam Blitz. So we do see that VJet coming out from Midka, and then switching to the heavy remix in the hands of Minari for that Booyah Bomb. I think that's a very solid pick. I also think the heavy is good here, but Minari having something up their sleeve. What?
I don't think it is good here. I think that the Ray is completely superior, and but that's just my opinion. I would like Minari to prove me wrong.
I'm gonna trust Minari, trust that there is a plan, trust in their skill and their picks and their own weapon, but I do kind of agree as well.
I thought it would have been a good pick on the first map, but a heavy is still a heavy, as you can see from the kills. But the difference between that Booyah Bomb and that Ray is honestly huge.
Yeah, in terms of localized pressure versus distance pressure, but the Booyah Bomb is superior in terms of clearing out an area instantaneously.
Yes,
which
your team needs as well.
Yes. Logan with that power clam, tossing it to a teammate so that way they can push up the basket. Minari does have that Booyah Bomb, so that as soon as they are ready to push, that is going to be a very big. Using the cover of top mid there, ingeniously chucking that Booyah Bomb as Paradox breaks that basket.
That was a smart usage to force the team there, and they have used it so far in a good way. But Cap is gonna try and slow this push down. Does run headfirst into a heavy. Luckily gets away with their life, but can they stop the rest of these clams from going in? To let one go in, that's about all. 39 is a... 27 is a outstanding opening push.
Yeah, that last player has got to be on snipe, but they must have jumped out by now because the members of Paradox, they could not find them. So Crimson Quake now having 3 specials online to prepare for a counter push, but we do see that heavy is very, very close to that Booyah Bomb, which can be used to delay this here.
Can be used to delay. I do have to say point sensor here can really be nice to help pick out flanks, and I'm not going to talk about what happened there. Cap just going to try and go around for a flank, and here are the specials. Johan popping these missiles to try and stop the push. They let the power clam go in, and one more clam go in, but as long as they don't let too many more clams enter that basket, that will be a successful defense.
Both of the remaining members of Crimson Quake are on that left side. The remix is there to defend that street, though, so the basket is going to come to a close in a 2v2 situation, but Paradox holding the advantage with that Booyah Bomb. Bloody and Midka putting enough pressure on that snipe to keep Paradox out of their own street.
Great showing from Crimson Quake to know how they need to push into their specials. Unfortunately, not being able to win out their fights after that. Ooh, Logan caught out in a bad position. They need to be able to punish Logan here. And
yeah, but look how much paint that Crimson Quake is keeping down on Paradox's street. Paradox just is having... Thankfully, with that VJet gone now that's going to be huge for Paradox in terms of breaking back into mid altogether. Soliver getting a pick on one of the members of Crimson Quake, but applying enough chip for the remaining members to start pressuring up. The last player of Crimson Quake marked with that pity clam. Paradox does break that basket and force that player back.
They jump back not into spawn, so that power climb will stay alive. But this is dangerous with a power climb looming from Paradox. If they can get this in, it's gonna be tight and close enough though. If they got that in, that would have been all but game.
Yeah, but they are able to get 2 down on the side of Crimson Quake. Crimson Quake on their back foot with both of those power climbs right under their basket. Everyone on the map knows exactly where they are. Manawi almost having that Booyah Bomb ready to go as well. And so while Paradox may not have the clam economy to facilitate a push here, they do have absolute control over the map and nearly the entire map. Crimson Quake very heavily stuck on defense here despite having the claim advantage.
We do see a Booyah Bomb coming out of Manawi, but that's not actually going to stall anything. And unfortunately, they lose a member. But just showing up with that heavy, pure mechanical power. Has to run away. He's being chased down. And that's going to be a strong looking push, except Logan's in the back line. There's not much time left. There's going to be a super jump camp here. And 1 member alive from Crimson Quake. They have gotten clams in and a full wipe. 15 seconds left. They need clams. They need them now. They need this game.
They need to get the clams enough to be able to form a pity. So all Paradox needs to do is keep clams off the field. And we see them chucking them into the water in that mid area. And also locking pods, which is going to keep those clams from spawning. That final push was the nail in the coffin for Crimson Quake. They simply, once they pushed that, they had dug their own grave.
For sure, they did, and Paradox is going to be winning this in a 2-1 fashion. They do have a chance still of making gold. It is a slight chance, but most likely, they're going to be looking towards a nice easy cruise into silver bracket, which would be nice.
Yeah, and GG's to both teams. This is an extremely exciting set, particularly that Remaker Humpback game. Was very, very fun to watch. But with that, we will be right back for our final game of Swiss.
It will be a very short break.
Welcome back to SAC Season 5, our second qualifiers. We are in the final rounds of the Swiss stage with a high-stakes game between Sleeping Seals and Prism. Genie, why don't you tell us about this?
As always, I'll break it down. Who's going to move on, who's not going to move on. Simple. The game plan is simple. Neither team with their Swiss standings and the fact that all the teams above them are pretty much 4-0 or 3-1. You need 4 wins to really get gold. Both teams being 2-2, you win and you're in silver bracket. Sleeping Seals got third in the bronze bracket last for the season opener, and as this has turned into, they're either hoping to improve on that, which would get them into silver bracket, or have another strong deep run, hopefully taking the bronze bracket. And Prism did not play last SAC.
Both of them having some very interesting wins and losses so far today. Sleeping Seals having won against Wipeout Punks and 64. 64 having defeated some very big names today, but losing to Liar and Triggerfish Zone's Supremacy. Prism, on the other hand, won against Midnight Chaos, another Buzzsaw, and Up the Ante, who have been playing very well today, while losing to Assault and Pepper, a very well-respected team, and Coral, who did very well in Ludi last season.
Yes, and we are going to be starting off on one of the most the most well-known Splatoon 2 competitive stage. Splat Zones make a line.
And getting started, we do see a bucket on both sides. I am a little biased for the Soda Slusher for a couple of different reasons, though, on the side of Sleeping Seals. Having that little range advantage to be able to take control of almost an entire stack at one time, and then also that Burst Bomb Rush for that infinite chip. I don't think there is a better sub and special combination and main weapon combination for chip damage than the Soda Slusher.
Yeah, and it's got that extra little phase, that extra little pop, even though it doesn't have to.
It's Sleeping Seals in control of the zones in the opening salvo in a 3v3 situation.
What a shot! What are those shots?
Oh, man!
The fadeaway. That was a beautiful inkjet shot. The second one getting traded up by the Slosher, definitely nice to save the life and get their team in that zone. They're going to be able to get that, and with the Zap getting these missiles and armor coming out, this will be a good defense. Hopefully those Tetris can get some nice work done, because they're going to need their team to, with all the members of the team leaving that zone.
Yeah, 5, the last remaining member of Prism, having to fall back, trying to get that special ready to go. We do see Sleeping Seals using those bubbles very defensively. I love to see those defensive bubbles as they clear their penalty. Going to squeak by on that lead here. If Prism pushes up now, this does look rather favorable for them in this 3v4 situation, also having that splashdown ready to go. Sequence, very infamous low level, low mid-level player, very experienced with those tetras.
That was a lot of levels, but yes, whatever level Seekin is, Seekin destroys. Seekin has been known, I've played against Seekin, very, very talented player. Very explosive, but can also be easily punished, as we see from this aggression. Smartly backing him up just a little bit.
I have massive respect for Seekin as well, and how well that he knows that weapon. Prism about to clear that penalty, but a cap does come right out from underneath them. Seekin finding themselves in a very dangerous position here in that freezer. Using that splashdown does get canceled for it amid some crossfire. Sleeping Seals feeling a little bit more comfortable as they clear that penalty.
Definitely more comfortable, and with the pressure that they have, they don't have any specials besides their armor all that close. But they're going to need that really, really rapidly, especially with the inkjet and those missiles coming out. Unfortunately, losing 2 members before that armor can really get the damage, can start mitigating that damage. And that's going to be the zone swapping to the side of Prism. Now it is their time to get some setups. And I need to, with the short range that they have, they need to really get some of these good sharks down and have some nice bomb plays.
Yeah, but they did have that K-shot living on the side of Sleeping Seals, so those missiles are going to be able to come out early in this exchange, getting the pick on Laffy as Punchy does push up. The splashdown does land. Seekit, the last player of Prism left standing before that delayed wipe. Sleeping Seals capping that zone and with it maintaining their lead.
Maintaining their lead is definitely so important because that was the penalty was quite low. And well, actually, it was low. It was just going off of clock. And now that they have the zone, their penalty is gone, and this is time for Prism's last opportunity to get in there. Losing a member to start is difficult, but getting that advantage, getting that neutralization on the zone is going to be key. Getting those sloshes down, but the squeezer is proving to be too strong at the moment.
The Squeezer getting a pick on those Tetras as Sleeping Seals does maintain that zone. That is a huge maintain as they bubble combo the way to kill 5, the 89 player. The last player Seekin going down in the zone. A valiant effort from Prism, but Sleeping Seals cleaning up.
That was a stronger game from Sleeping Seals with their team comp. They seem to be more in control. It was. It felt like every time that Prism was able to get zone, it was off of heroic play, where Sleeping Seals just kind of got to like just play standard, pop our bubbles, pop our armor, walk in the zone, cap zone, defend.
Yeah, I did like their comp, frankly. Very much. Between the Squeezer and the Soda, the Squeezer really benefits from that chip damage that the Soda Slosher is able to provide. In the special synergy between the Burst Rush and the Bubbles makes it so even a graze from those bubbles in a bubble combo is going to result in a pick. And I do think that we saw that multiple times. The 89 from 5 I thought was very interesting because that's not something that you see very often. But I did like it, honestly.
Yeah, I also did have to say I liked it. The problem is that whenever I saw them popping missiles, because you're such a short-range weapon, the difference between having like a Jet Squelcher or the Dually Squelchers is you have a little bit more, or any of the other like mid-rangey weapons, you don't have to leave the battle as much. You're almost like a K-shot. You kind of have to leave the battle pop missiles because, or else you just get run over. But they went back to where like a Jet Squelcher would sit and pop, instead of where a K-shot would just zip over to the side of the map and try and pop their missiles or pop it before the defense. It felt like their missile placement wasn't as strong as it could have been.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. And I think that there wasn't quite a setup between the Tetras and the Tri-Slosher, Seekit, and Eider as there could have been. But I do think that had a lot to do with the chip damage comp that was coming out of Sleeping Seals, because that just makes it so hard for the aggros to move forward if they're constantly taking 10 damage here, 10 damage there.
We're going to be seeing that hero slosher coming out. I love that. It's such a clean design. It's one of the nicest weapons to look at aesthetically in the game. But a strong bias towards the hero Spotlight replica. That thing is the nicest weapon in history. You could just like, I remember when that thing first came out, you could just see an Inkling on the other side of it. It's actually competitive.
Yeah, that Slosher going down against the other Slosher. I do love the original Slosher variants, being the V-Slosh and the Soda Slosher. I just think that the range that they have and the play style that works around that with the flicks and the differing positioning. I love Tri-Slosher. I wish I could play the OG buckets.
Yeah, OG buckets.
We just... two stacked up on this tower here with Eider having that armor ready to go. The armor popped as Prism does clear that first checkpoint.
First checkpoint going down early is going to be nice. We do see Seegan trying to help the teammate, but unfortunately not really in the position to, due to the fact that the N was going down, being pushed back. They're probably going to lose 5 as well, and that's going to be neutral. Seegan, definitely kind of just watch your team fall over, but sometimes that's a good thing. You preserve your special. Unfortunately, as a Tetra duelist, your special is either kill everybody or kill yourself.
Yeah, with Seekant having control of Arcade on that right side here as the missiles come out from Sleeping Seals.
What shot!
Sheesh! Oh, that's gotta sting a little. That's quite the 1-2 punchy punch, right?
Oh yes, absolutely finessed the mic right there.
See what I did there? His name's
Oh
Punchy.
yeah, that was clean as all living hell. This is gonna be the defense. Prism doesn't even want to like defend from high ground. They just want to rush forward to defend this tower. They are ramming their heads into it. Seekant coming down with us. Never mind.
You know, why is it called splash down when you only splash up?
Oh, got him. I do have to say I've heard that one.
Yeah,
Front
you know.
view. Front
Yeah.
view.
I can't use that same joke twice in a day. Sloshing
Maybe even 3 times. Sloshing going in and just sloshing everything.
Yeah, Sloshing putting up a lot of pressure on Arcade here, popping those missiles as Sleeping Seals does barrel towards that second checkpoint. Things do tend to get rather hairy past this second checkpoint, so hopefully Prism is able to stop this from clearing, but they are not. Monet heading straight into that office area.
Punchy coming up with a nice inkjet shot as well. Not able to get a fadeaway at the end, but that's enough damage. Seekant is being pressured so heavily that inkjet's coming out inside of Lefty. They do go down though, and the tower's got nowhere to go, but Elder's on the tower for only moments, not enough to stop it though.
And GG. Game 2 on TC Antro going to Sleeping Seals. And with that, securing their spot in silver, correct?
Yes, that barring crazy numbers in that, and being like one of the only teams being cut that are 3-2, because there's a whole bunch of other games that have to happen. But I would put I guarantee 95% chance.
You know, careful, we're just commentators. We're not TOs. They don't pay us the big bucks. They don't pay us.
So you probably, I with real sports, if anyone knows Charles Barkley, the guy who's on basketball, he likes to guarantee stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you guarantee it like that. If you say it loud and proud, it's funny when you're wrong. But I want to say 95%.
Well, yeah, official results pending, *.tm.com. With that is, it's been an interesting day, Jeannie. Thank you for putting up with my delirium.
Yeah, I do. Are we swapping? Or
yes, we shall be.
We shall be swapping. Also, Rissa and K-Bot are going to be coming in for the top.
Yes, so you have.
I will set the stage though, because Cascade, Duck Crew, the team that we saw first. I was thinking, hey, these guys just show up. They didn't play last week, and they absolutely throttled their opponent in the first round. Like it wasn't even. It looked like. I didn't even know what it just looked like a massacre in Splatoon. But they've won every match that they've played, and they are up. They are 5-0. Liar is 4-1, so those teams will be moving on. At the moment, Sleeping Seals is in third, but we have a lot of other matches between a lot of other teams that need to happen. Especially teams like Destiny Troops and SynRG.
Ooh, that's going to be a very exciting match. Yeah, so we will be heading on to Top Cut next. That is what will be on stream. And you have a very exciting pair of commentators coming up. The Rissa and K-Bot. Is K-Bot retired or not? That's a question for him. Please ask him in chat.
And if you bother him too much, he might hide away.
Yeah, you know, without further ado, Jeannie, where can the lovely people find you?
They can find me commentating. I probably shouldn't say. I'm gonna say it. I'm commentating Squid Junction later today, so you can find me on there on the Dabble channel once this tournament is over. Because both these tournaments. You can have some nice dinner or something, and then come listen to that and watch some of the action there. But you can find me at Genie7 on Twitter with an underscore, and at Genie7 on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, we're boarding that Splatoon 3 hype train. I am going to be streaming next week, Wednesday.
Mmm.
We're gonna have some Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 1 viewer private battles throughout next week. If you want to join in on some of that, you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter to have more details.
And my name is Skepadillions. You can find me at Twitter and Twitch at Skepadillions. You can also find me at Shine in 40 Days in Worcester, Massachusetts. And also I stream just about every day. I stream all of Aquapora's scrims, so you can always find us there. But with that, everyone, please stay tuned for the fantastic pair of commentators coming on next, as well as the lovely and talented teams that shall be competing. I wish you a lovely day and stay fresh, everyone.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Splatoon Amateur Circuit. What was I about to say? I don't even know what I was about to say. How many years have I been doing this? Goodness. All right, folks. I'm K-Bot. I am joined by Rissa. Rissa, how's your afternoon or evening going? I guess it's afternoon for you, huh?
Yeah, my afternoon literally just started. It's going good. I'm still, trying to wake up, even though I've been awake for like 7 hours, it'd be like that. How's your day been going, K-Bot?
I am kind of in a similar boat. Haven't really been doing much. Got to lounge around, watch a bit of the stream that we have here for some of the tournament earlier. Was kind of getting some of my notes together, figuring out who all we were going to be seeing in our top 8 finals bracket, which we are just about to start underway. First match we'll be watching is Triggerfish Zone Supremacy versus SynRG. Now, SynRG, of course, was in last time around for the opener. They placed 3rd overall, so they're trying to double up on their points here, and with a win, they'll be well on their way to doing that. But of course, Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, this is their first event, because last time around, they were in the Inkopolis Showdown, the official Nintendo tournament. That team placed top 16 in that event, and then followed up with a top 8 finish in last week's event. So they're coming and looking at this, trying to go for gold here, and get their name on the board in terms of those leadership points for the season so far.
So Triggerfish Zones, I've actually got to play against them a few times, and they haven't really been out and about in the past, but they've been out in tournaments and showing up, and they are doing really good as we get to see them showing up here in top 8 of SAC. So we are starting out. Remember, this is a best of 3 with counter picks. Game 1 is Piranha Pit Zones, and let's see what comps we have here, K-Bot.
You'll start to see this is going to be a little bit natural here for Triggerfish Zone Supremacy. Kraken, of course, on that ink bridge. You see that Explosher paired to boot, hopefully going to allow for a little bit of trickery to come out of this Triggerfish Zone squad, while SynRG running more tried and true things. You see that Kens 52, Foil Squeezer, and the like. Of course, they've got a brush of their own, so both these teams have the ability to try to go for some of these skirmishes and try to distract one another. We'll see how well that plays into things here on Splatoon's Piranha Pit, which is a very linear map and very difficult to get firm holds.
So we see KM here. I love that KM was able to, I'm sure their teammates called it exactly where Kraken was there on that brush, able to rush over and get that pick onto Kraken. Now, Zone is completely in SynRG's color right now, and you can see them just guarding both sides of the map here, the left side and that right drop. Finally, though, that splashdown coming out from Triggerfish Zones at least stalls out the zone, allowing them to finally cap the zone and get some points on the board. But unfortunately, they do have 2 down, so it's going to be an easy take back here from SynRG.
Easy take back, but it is going to stall things out for a little while longer. Of course, you don't want to let those points continue to build up against you. And so well done to them to try to get this cap. Buy a little bit more time for them, but they're really going to have to try to regroup here. And it's going to start with getting KM out of the way here on this gal, because you'll notice how much of an opportunity that's allowing the rest of these members of SynRG to push on forward, giving themselves enough breathing room to try to wear down this penalty. Now that is going to fall. Those 2 members are going to fall back. And now we're starting to see Triggerfish Zone Supremacy move forward. Will they be able to find this? As Vapor now going into the baller, trying to move on forward here, and is going to be able to pick off one with the help of a teammate. And they are going to be able to find this cap once again, doubling down on that penalty. But the question is going to be how much further can they push, especially without many resources left back up. Their junior has this ink armor, and they're going to go ahead and pop it. Will they be able to find much for it? Looks like there's one that goes down on that side, but enough of these members of SynRG are just kind of laying back for the time being, just bumping out a little bit more blue ink on top of the zone and making this hold much more difficult for Triggerfish Zones.
Triggerfish Zones finally able to take the lead onto their side, and you can see they've been doing such a good job at just guarding the zone. We got to see from Vapor's point of view there on that Explosher, just doing such a good job at just backing up and spacing out anyone from SynRG who tries to approach. You can see Half here trying to approach. Speaking of Vapor, tries to approach Vapor there with a bubble, and maybe try to pop that bubble onto Vapor, but Vapor had that baller at the ready, able to pop that to stall out anyone rushing them. And now, once again, Triggerfish Zones here is in control of the zones. There's 2 members down of SynRG, and you can see like Vapor's point of view in here doing such a good job at getting that pressure up there onto the top left. And right now it's going to be up to SynRG here to work on getting specials. That way they can get in a position to be able to push back in and push in together.
You'll notice how far back Triggerfish Zones is pushing their opponents. With Vapor's Explosion and with a handful of bombs at their disposal, they're making it very difficult for SynRG to get in without forcing the use of some of their specials, and that's exactly what they're trying to do now. You see that Ink Armor come out earlier. Now Half is trying to roll on forward here with this Bubble Blower, and you see that Booyah Bomb thrown in the opposite zone. It's going to translate to a 2-down situation for Triggerfish Zones and the cap for SynRG. Now with the 3-down situation, these members of SynRG are going to be able to move around the map wherever they want to. We'll see where they set up their defenses as they try to get this hold and get this a little bit more equivalent down to where Triggerfish Zones has, down to that 20-point mark. But they have to be careful here because those long-range threats are going to continue stalling things out, especially with how potent that Explosher paint can be in a burst fashion. You'll notice how quickly this zone continues to get flipping neutral.
Yeah, the zones here are just going back and forth. Each team is just trying to at least hold one of the zone on their side. Looks like Triggerfish is going to be the team here that is going to be able to capitalize on getting picks. There's essentially 3 members down right now of SynRG, and they are setting up really nicely here on Triggerfish Zones. As soon as they saw there was 1 member, 2 member down of SynRG, they were able to just completely collapse onto SynRG and now just guarding all these drop areas. Kraken actually just guarding this drop here, and with the help of their teammates, able to make sure that no one from SynRG is able to come into the zone.
We're continually seeing these 2 down, 3 downs for SynRG, and Triggerfish Zones is almost now worn through this penalty entirely. They're going to be looking to try to get the knockout here if the clock doesn't stop before it. But Kraken is in a little bit of a pesky position, has a splashdown at the ready, going to use it to try to build up a little bit more ink as well. And now forcing these members of SynRG to try to work around this way on top of the zone, exactly where a lot of the rest of these members were watching for Triggerfish Zones. It's going to be the wipe, and Triggerfish Zones is going to take game 1.
And it started out, I felt like SynRG started out really strong. Triggerfish Zones had to really take a little bit to figure out how to push back into the zone. And then once they did, it felt like the switch just flipped. And all of a sudden, Triggerfish Zones, there was something that was really working for them. And they really did a good job at sticking to whatever that was, because they had people guarding the left drop and the right drop and just were making sure that no one from SynRG could even get into the zone.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? We don't see a lot of lockout situations happen on Splat Zone's Piranha Pit, but of course, if there's enough time, you can try to build up that lockout on just about any map in the game. Trying to put yourself in a forward advantage where you're going to force your opponent to pop their specials, pop that Ink Armor, pop those Tenna Missiles, to make you move, to get you out of the way before they even think about touching the zone. That's exactly what Triggerfish Zones was doing such a good job of setting up there on those defenses, and something that SynRG just couldn't overcome. But now, of course, we see the counter pick coming in from SynRG, and they're taking us to Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy. They're hoping that this one can snowball out of control in their favor.
I know, and they had this counter pick at the ready really fast too, so I'm guessing this is a map that they know that they're really confident on, and they have a game plan. They're ready to use it for this map and mode in particular. And then thinking about it too, if you think about Triggerfish Zone Supremacy's weapons that they were playing, thinking about an Explosher, is Vapor going to be switching over to something else? This is always interesting when I get to watch teams that I don't necessarily get to watch a lot. I don't know for sure if Vapor has something else that they'll want to switch to, or maybe they'll just stick to Explosher, because they were doing a really good job with it in the first game.
They were doing a pretty good job with it. I doubt it's going to be that. Like, it feels awkward to play on Tower Control Inkblot where you're moving around the map so often because that tower is just constantly moving, right? I feel like it's going to be difficult to see if that Explosher is going to come out here. But of course, only time will tell. Maybe Vapor will prove us wrong. Tower Control Inkblot is the pick from SynRG. Remember, folks, only a best of 3 in order to carry on for the rest of this tournament. These teams both looking for the advantage, looking to get more points on the leaderboard. Of course, Vapor actually is going to be sticking with that Explo. Now it's Mewtwo switching over to that Grim Range Blaster here as well. And the Nautilus coming out of SynRG on the other side.
Yeah, a couple of big weapon switch-ups that we get to see, different from that game 1 that we saw. And then I see that Kraken, too, is actually switching to... I'm not an Ink Brush professional, but I know that's not the Ink Armor one that I think they were playing in the first game. So that's a minor switch up too. So game starting out here, 1 member down on the side of SynRG, but SynRG, Zore there, tried to take the tower a little bit, started trying to bait it, but very smartly backs up. Murafam backing up as well. They recognize that they had a member down. They need to give space to the other team so that way they can get a position to push back in.
both these teams playing rather conservatively and actually playing pretty well here overall. You'll notice one goes down. All right, maybe we don't have the ability to go ahead and push this right now. And so both these teams actually doing that SynRG. Of course, as you mentioned, they're backing up and now they're retaking control of mid. But now the armor comes out of Triggerfish zones and they're going to storm into mid. You see Zora and Half both stepping on back, letting their opponents to go ahead and take this tower and now popping an incomer of their own to try to catch them out and catch them out a little bit by surprise. But with one member already going down, making it 2-second going down to Kraken Splashdown over there, it doesn't look like this is going to prove like his fantastic push, and neither one of these teams have even thought about touching this first checkpoint. We're already a minute and a half in.
Yeah, you can see Zora just keeps kind of going up to the tower to start pushing it, but then unfortunately 2 members of their team go down, so they have to back up. I love that very smart backup, waiting for their teammates, get in a position to regroup to be able to use their special. Now, with 2 members down actually on essentially on Triggerfish right now, you can see that SynRG, with 3 members down now, SynRG's looking really good as they finally are able to get to that first checkpoint, use armor there to start pushing up into the other team's bats and get past this first checkpoint. This is exactly what they needed.
Want to call that out on bats there. That's exactly what SynRG did need. Even though they went 1 down, they were able to get Vapor out of there for the time being, allowing themselves plenty of control around this first checkpoint and now pathing through the second checkpoint. They are all going to go down, but clearing that second checkpoint is going to be a nuisance off their back as we continue to move forward in this game. I mean, we're only halfway through here, but now it's time to see what Triggerfish Zones can do, as Mewtwo's going to be able to find a direct, pop these 10 missiles, and try to push the rest of these members of SynRG back to allow this push to come through for Triggerfish Zones.
Triggerfish Zones here, having Vapor riding the tower. Now they are going to be the ones able to get past this first checkpoint. I like that. I love that Vapor just got the checkpoint and then just backed up, waited for their teammates to come in, is holding this left stack to be able to use those Explo shots to, push back anyone else from the other team. Unfortunately, Vapor there does try to use that baller, but does get called out. And now SynRG pushing back into mid here, making sure they're clearing all these angles, painting up mid and starting to push the tower again. As they know Triggerfish is starting to come back into spawn, they have that space to be able to move forward.
Most notably, they have specials at the ready. You saw the Octobrush go ahead and pop the Tena missiles, and now Half going up in this ink jet looking for a few more, but with a less purple ink in front of them than they'd like, it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to hop in this tower for SynRG. They're not going to be able to extend their lead for the time being, and now Half is going to get picked off by Krakenmare, who is just diving on for this, exactly what you want to see out of your ink brush. But now, again, Triggerfish Zones has to be the one to answer here. They're the ones that haven't cleared past this second checkpoint. They're the ones that are really having a difficult time finding their foothold in the opponent's territory. It looks like they might be starting to find a little bit of an advantage here as they start building up their control of mid. And now this ink armor comes out as well, but there is just constant barrage of purple ink all around this tower.
There is. SynRG is just constantly painting up mid. You can see, Kraken here on this ink brush just trying to shark this the SynRG's drop area, but SynRG's just constantly putting out paint into mid. Looks like finally Triggerfish Zone starts trying to push up a little bit. They were getting that mid paint too that they needed back, but 2 members are down of Triggerfish Zones right now, and both teams are just it's just a juggle right now, back and forth to see who can get those picks and utilize them first. It's just really back and forth as we're going down into the last 20 seconds of this match.
You'll notice Half is playing incredibly far back for SynRG right now on this Nautilus. It's because they realize their win condition. Their win condition is preventing Triggerfish Zones from passing through the second checkpoint. And it looks like this is going to be the push for Triggerfish Zones. They're giving it their all in this time around. The Tena missiles already come out, but it's already a 2-9 situation even before Mewtwo can try to flank around from behind. Vapor's trying to move on in with this baller and try to find somebody, but it's just not enough. And SynRG is going to send us to a game 3.
Ooh, so right now the score is 1-1. With this being a best of 3, whoever wins this will be moving on to the next round. And with SynRG winning this game, that means that Triggerfish Zones is going to have the chance now to have a counter pick for game 3. And that's going to be really interesting. A lot of times, it's whoever can get that last game counter pick, whether it's a best of 3 or a best of 5. Sometimes it seems like they do have the upper hand because they're able to pick the map that they want to. So, going to be interesting what Triggerfish Zones picks here.
Definitely going to be interesting overall. You have to imagine they're looking for things that favor the ink brush, that favor this Explosher, that favor some of their niche weapons that you're just not used to seeing. Meanwhile, you're looking at SynRG's composition, especially in that last map, after they changed it up a little bit. That Nautilus, that Jet Squelcher, loves a map like Inkblot where they can stay safe and continue to pump out pressure from a longer range. So we'll have to see what it's going to be from Triggerfish zones. Unfortunately, they can't pick Triggerfish. It's not in the map pool this time around. They're going to have to come up with something else here. I don't even know what would be closest to Triggerfish, honestly, out of the map. Like, Snapper, maybe, I guess? No, okay, we're going to Manta Maria instead, opting for Rainmaker here. This will be interesting. I feel like there's not a lot of paths for this Ink Brush to really go behind, try to get these flanks, try to do those pesky Ink Brush things that they're normally used to doing. What do you think the philosophy is behind this map pick?
Something, I don't know. I've played against Kraken before, and their Ink Brush kind of drives me crazy. I'm not going to lie. So I could see Kraken just coming up. When you're pushing through this, you're either going to want to push through the right cut, the other team's street, rarely the top left. And a lot of times the top left is going to be where those aggro, maybe the Ink Brush is going to be there just to be annoying, to put pressure on, get picks. And I could definitely see Kraken maybe utilizing that Ink Brush up in that top left area to even get into the other team's spawn. So I could see that being an option and maybe where they're thinking they can go with this.
Well, we're going to have to see what comes of it. Looks like we are going to see a little bit of composition change here for Triggerfish zones. Vapor onto the Ballpoint, Porksmork on the NZAP 89, and Mewtwo on the Slosher. There are no armors on the Triggerfish zones composition right now, and the same thing holds true, or, same composition from earlier pretty much for SynRG, although switching out that Tensa shot for that Jet Squelcher. But nonetheless, they're already starting to push to this one on forward, but Kraken's going to be able to stop that in its tracks with an early game triple here on this Ink Rush. We were talking a little bit about it to boot, and just with the tight quarters here and the things in the street, looks like Kraken is thriving right now.
Yeah, Kraken is doing such a good job with the Ink Brush on this map, and able to almost play it almost like a roller in a way, just hug these drops, hug all these ledges, and just pop up when someone from the other team is least expecting it, and get picks. Able to use those splashdowns really well. With the hammer coming into mid, Murafan able to actually stop the Rainmaker with that hammer, and Half here using this Ink Brush to get another pick onto someone from Triggerfish zones. Kraken there. So I love this. Zore grabs the Rainmaker right away, starts pushing left, this top left area really fast, and just being able to play really fast and have that game awareness is exactly what SynRG needs right now.
But look at the adaptation, immediately taking it right down street to drop it down to that 38-point mark. That was huge for SynRG, and although they might have committed all of their resources to get there, making that pivot to take it down street instead of trying to continuing to go up top left, especially after Half didn't win the 1v1 versus Vapor there in the Splatling duel. Very well adaptation here comes out. Looks like this Rainmaker is going to reset now, so perhaps a little bit of breathing room for Triggerfish zone Supremacy. But again, they've got to make their play. We haven't seen an offensive push really come together for them quite yet. We'll have to see if they're able to capitalize on one once they start popping some of their specials to move on forward here, especially once they can start sniffing out some of their opponents. Kraken going up, Splashdown is going to connect with the ground, but not going to connect with anyone else, and is going to get picked off by a handful of these suction bombs that are coming out here. KM doing a fantastic job locking things down, and it's going to be a 3-down situation for Triggerfish zone. SynRG going to pick up this Rainmaker already.
And KM using these missiles to help their teammates be able to call out where those other members of the team are. KM getting this pick onto Mewtwo also, and following up behind the Rainmaker, helping pop that. You can see Half there actually up in the top left area with that Nautilus, already just putting up pressure onto that top left area. SynRG, though, looks like they're not going to grab the Rainmaker. I think that's a really smart move. They're just kind of waiting to see if they can get some other picks, or maybe wait for their teammates to be able to push back into mid. Unfortunately, with 2 members down of SynRG, they weren't quite able to capitalize off of that, and both teams right now are just trying to wait for their teammates to regather here. That way they can get into position to push the Rainmaker. Looks like SynRG, though, is going to start pushing the Rainmaker as KM has grabbed the Rainmaker.
trying to do that here, but I don't know if they're actually going to get a ton of it. Actually, they're going to be able to drop down at 1 point to their lead before falling, but the rest of the members of SynRG are still in position while Triggerfish Zones is continuing to scramble. You see 3 going down for Triggerfish Zones right now. Make that the delayed wipe, as now that Inkjet comes out as well. Zore picks up this Rainmaker, is looking for the dunk, and is able to find it. That is SynRG guaranteeing themselves a top 4 finish in this qualifier.
That was really, really good from SynRG. I mean, they were playing really fast. Their game sense, like K-Bot was mentioning about that Rainmaker pathing that they did, just the awareness to be able to do that and get points really fast like that is exactly what you need. And we really saw that they just turned it on there and just were able to capitalize on things really fast.
Yeah, absolutely well done there for SynRG. If you're Triggerfish Zones, nothing to, scoff at there. Your opponents just had your number in a lot of cases. They were able to make the adaptations based on exactly where they were setting up shop. When Vapor was sitting on that left side, able to run it right down street, and then taking that advantage to them, you'll notice, Triggerfish Zones was playing very far back while you mentioned they were waiting for their teammates to respawn after they were going a few down. That's the perfect opportunity to push, and that's exactly what SynRG did. They pulled the trigger, and they went on forward. Fantastic stuff coming out from them, and then to have the patience while that Rainmaker goes down, able to move around, adapt a little bit to what their opponents were doing, and find the knockout. Well done to SynRG, and it'll be interesting to see what they have to go up against. Unfortunately, they are going up in the next round, presumably. Actually, I should probably pull up the bracket before I say something completely incorrect. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Other matches still 1-1, but Cascade Duck Crew has been crushing the Swiss stage so far. We saw them in round 1 on this broadcast. They went 2-0 versus virtually every opponent. They got 3 victories. 3 of those 5 victories that they had were all against top 8 teams from the opener last time around. So it'll be interesting to see what SynRG might provide as they go up against them. But to take a look around for the rest of the bracket, Unlimited Woomy United beat Helixio 2-0. And then the other 2 matches, Cascade Duck Crew versus Axel 1-1 and Liar versus Sleeping Seals also sitting at 1-1. So we'll have to see what the rest of that is going to come up for the rest of this.
Yeah, I mean, and with so many of these going, like starting out 1-1 and then like ending up having to go to a game 3, that's really interesting, and I think that really makes for a really interesting top 4 and just shows how close these matches that we get to watch coming up are going to be. I mean, this match that we saw went to a game 3.
Yeah.
And if other ones are doing that too, it's going to be really interesting.
I mean, it just goes to show you how close these teams are at this skill level, right? Anyone is going to be able to make it into this gold bracket. Anyone's going to be able to continue to take games out of this gold bracket. Even, we're seeing a handful of upsets here just based on Swiss standings so far in the top cut bracket today. So a lot more interesting stuff that is going to come through. Semifinals, of course, will be starting soon. But before that, we're going to take a real brief break. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with more SAC action in just a little bit. Welcome back to SAC Season 5 Tournament 2, where some interesting things are happening in the gold bracket. Of course, we just saw SynRG get taken to a Game 3 versus Triggerfish Zone Supremacy. And now we're going to get to watch Sleeping Seals versus Unlimited Woomy United. Uwu you saw last tournament. I have to say Uwu for this one. I hate it here. Anyway, Sleeping Seals is coming off of a victory over Liar, who got second place in the opener. So they've got to be feeling pretty good about themselves as they move on forward here, Ressa.
Yeah, Kayvot and I were just looking at the bracket right before we came back, and we saw that, and that's a really, really good upset for Sleeping Seals to have onto Liar. I mean, Liar placed well in the last tournament, and they were seed number 2 for this tournament, so being able to beat them and then move forward in the bracket is really, really good for Sleeping Seals.
We did get to see Sleeping Seals play a little bit earlier today. Of course, Sloshy playing for that Slosher, so we'll have to see how that is able to be worked into a handful of these compositions. And we'll just see what the rest of this team has in store as well. Of course, Unlimited Woomy United, I believe, placed 4th in the opener. So they're also feeling pretty well themselves, at least meeting the benchmark for doubling their points and potentially looking for just a few more. As we start getting set here, our first map is going to be Splat Zones on Sturgeon Shipyard before we get into the counter picks here. What do you expect to see here, Arissa? Do we have any thoughts in terms of like what to expect?
Honestly, my thoughts are I got nothing right now. I actually don't really know what team compositions either of these teams play. I've never gotten to be able to watch either of them play. The only person and whose name does look familiar to me is Banana, and I'm guessing that's the Banana I know who plays NZAP. So other than that, I'm really not sure what to expect, and that's always exciting too, kind of when you don't really know what to expect from teams that you've never got to watch. You get to see them in action for the first time, see what weapons they play, see what their play style is, and get to see it for the first time live on stream.
So I forgot that I had taken notes. Of course, I forget about the notes that I took. I like literally looked at it. I glanced at it. I was like, oh yeah, Unlimited Woomy United got 4th. And then I was like, oh, I also wrote down what weapons they're playing. So the composition that they played last tournament 2 weeks ago, Foil Flingza, Neo Splash, K-Gluga, and Zap. And sometimes that Splash was substituted around for a Carbon Deco as well. So seeing a few interesting picks there. Double Armor with that Kensa Gluga coming in as well. We'll have to see exactly how things are all going to play together here as we're going to get loaded into Game 1. Again, Sturgeon Shipyard, tried and true Splat Zones here. It's going to be all about who can keep the most paint in the middle of that map. And now not on the Rapid here as well. Interesting picks to come out. Actually, 0 shooters on the side of Unlimited Woomy United. We'll have to see how they plan on keeping control of this zone.
Yeah, my brain is like processing right now looking at everyone's weapons. There's a lot of weapons that I don't get to see played a lot here. So this is going to be a really, really fun first game starting out here. We see Sleeping Seals here trying to do a really good job at painting the zone at first, but then Unlimited able to follow through, get a pick onto that splash, and cap the zone onto their side. So you can see Unlimited Woomy pushing up. You can see they're doing a really good job at holding the zone now, waiting for Sleeping Seals to come back in.
And the largest thing here is that, well, before that pick there, they weren't pushing very far forward. They were kind of keeping around the zone, holding control, trying to use things like the Fizzy Bombs, using things like that Rapid Pro to continue pushing their opponents back and making sure that they can't take control of the zone. It looks like so far it's actually working out for them. They were able to stall that push out that Sleeping Seals was trying to make, and now they're just continuing to maintain control of the middle of the map. And with another 2-0 situation, they're going to continue to extend their lead even more. As you see Woozy sticking back here on this Foil Flingza, now starting to go in, noticing there are a few members that actually love that call out there. You see 3 members going in for the 3v2 from Unlimited Woomy United, and now all of a sudden, things are looking grim. They've got just 13 ticks of the timer here left for Sleeping Seals to try to come on back in. They're popping all their specials. They're trying to take back control of these zones. It's a 2-0 situation. It looks like they're going to be able to find the cap here, but they still have to get enough paint on top of the zone. There's not enough people up top, and they're finally going to be able to grab it. Another 2-0 situation for Unlimited Woomy United, and Sleeping Seals is going to survive in this game.
Ooh, Sleeping Seals there had to get their specials at the ready really fast and just start using them with those 6 points remaining on the onto Unlimited Woomy. So Unlimited Woomy actually spawning back really fast here, able to come back in instantly and start putting pressure on. But as they were doing that, they did have 2 members go down. We're seeing Noth here having to back up, tries to back up and actually gets called out here by Sloshy. So now with no penalty points, Sleeping Seals is sitting in the same position that Unlimited Woomy was here, just holding the zone right now, making sure they're watching the left and the right side of the map and getting this lockout into position and looking really good.
Unlimited Woomy United has got to be coming back quite quickly here if they want any success. Ink Armor is going to come out, is going to get popped. Will they be able to find much for it? Doesn't quite look like it for right now. It's 8 versus 6 right now. Unlimited Woomy United was able to find the 2 down and able to find just enough paint on zone in order to find this cap and in order to maintain their lead for the time being. 2 members jumping on Slotchy down there underneath in Fight Club. And now all of a sudden, though, it looks like it's actually going to be a take right back for Sleeping Seals as Unlimited Woomy United was turning their back, didn't have enough paint control, and now it's going to be back in orange control. They're going to be looking to wear down this penalty here quite quickly and try to get this taken care of. They've got less time, of course, the last time around with penalty points taking a shorter amount of time. So it'll be interesting to see if Unlimited Woomy United can try to come on back here, and it looks like they're trying to do just that right now. Punchy backed up a little bit, can't quite seem to make much use out of this bomb launcher, and the zone cap is going to turn green.
Wow, this is so back and forth right now with 3 members down of Sleeping Seals. Unlimited Woomy being the one now to push up, and Woozy using that Flingza to just rain down from above, get that final pick onto the last member of Sleeping Seals, and now Sleeping Seals is coming back from spawn. They have to completely regroup. They do have armor at the ready, so you can tell the armor junior there waiting for another special to be at the ready. They do have that burst rush ready, so they are going to go ahead and use that armor and the burst rush to try and push back into zone. This is so chaotic, K-Bot. There's so much going on.
So much going on here, but it's a 2-down situation on another side of the map. It looking like Sleeping Seals are going to be able to hold on to this for the time being, but another trade happens, another 2-down situation, and another 2v2 on top of the map. Axiom and another teammate here trying to get on top of Sloshy, and now these 3 members are going to rush down a doozy on this other side of the map. Unlimited Woomy United going to be holding onto the zones for the time being, and with just 40 seconds left to go, Sleeping Seals need to find an answer once more in order to try to get this take back, because there is just so much pressure coming from all directions as these members of UWU are sitting on top.
I love that the Flingza from UWU just goes onto that spinner, just rains down from above, keeps flicking, and that's something that you can't really approach. That's so hard to approach. So Sleeping Seals right now has to give everything. They have 3 specials at the ready. They have to use them right now to stall out the zone. There's only 2 points remaining, and they weren't quite able to use them in time to be able to get to the zone. So Unlimited Woomy is going to be taking this first game.
Oh, and look at how much orange ink is on that zone right now. Just too late. Those are not full seconds, folks, on those Splat Zones timers. You cannot try to time things up and line it up like that, because that timer will quickly expire. Had all of the right places, but it was just a few seconds too late to try to come on through here. So Unlimited Woomy United will be taking that first game, which again is a huge boon in this best of 3. And now, of course, it's the counter pick for Sleeping Seals. We'll have to see what they come up with.
I mean, you and I were talking about after that first set that we got to watch on stream, with all these scores so far for top 8 and top cut going 1-1. I mean, it was really showing how close these teams are going to be playing each other. And I think that for the first top 4 game that we've got to watch here on stream, I think that really showed how close these games are going to be, because that was so back and forth. Each team was just doing a really good job at coming back into the zone when it was their turn to and their time to, and each team also did a really good job at defending. So, whew, we're in for quite a ride for this top 4, I think.
We definitely are. That was certainly interesting and entertaining to watch. Again, hey, the 0-shooter composition worked. I don't know if you count dualies or maybe you count blasters as shooters, but I don't, okay? It's not the normal quad shooter composition that everyone's been whining about. And apparently it works here with just enough range to continue backing your opponents away, making them feel unsafe. And then they have to try to squeak by in one of the sides, try to find an angle to get on top of this zone, throw those bubbles out. It just didn't quite work out for them last time around. And Sleeping Seals certainly taking their time to think about this one, right? They don't want to be caught in the same situation where there are very few ways in to try to get back to take control of the objective. And I say they're taking their time because we still don't have a counter pick from them. Come on, folks, let's get a move on here. But yeah, I mean, really, when you're looking at a composition like Unlimited Woomy United that is very non-traditional in the ways we're kind of thinking about things, it kind of turns the game upside down in a lot of ways. You're looking at Double Roller, you're looking at a Rapid Blaster, and then the final weapon you're looking at is just throwing Fizzy Bombs and has another Incomer at the ready all the time. They are going to be so hard to actually track down and lock down. But it looks like they found a map they're happy with and is open enough here. Splat Zone's Wahoo World.
Ooh, Splat Zone's Wahoo World. Interesting. I'm wondering, what the thought process is for this as a counter pick. I think that's important. Like you said, K-Bot, this is a more open map, and that's going to be kind of critical and crucial to avoid all that chip damage. There's more area to be able to run around and be able to hide from missiles, hide from Flingza and missiles coming down at you at the same time. So that could definitely be pertinent into what this counter pick is. And I'm so interested after we got to watch Unlimited Woomy United's comp there for that game 1, and that being the first time I've ever watched them play. I'm really interested what comp they're going to have for this game 2.
I have a feeling Woomy's going to switch over to the Neo Splash here. I feel like you can't get away with having no paint here, and that bomb launcher is going to be very useful. There it is on the Neo Splash here, but now Banana is going to be switching over to that remix, has that Booyah Bomb to cover control of mid, and so we've got a little bit of a similar style coming out from the Uwu squad, but a handful of differences for Sleeping Seals as they're looking to turn around this set.
And instantly, actually, one member from Unlimited Woomy going down, that Gluga player, is going to go down. Another one going down by Punchy using this Inkjet, and that's going to be instantly 2 members down of Unlimited Woomy United. Looking really good for Sleeping Seals here as they have the zone and they're able to start pushing up, start maybe trying to get some other picks as Unlimited Woomy comes back in. Unfortunately, though, that L3 from Sleeping Seals does go down as that was happening.
And a 2-done situation for Sleeping Seals. Might be another 3 if Axiom can try to come up with one here around, trying to play it safe, not pushing too far forward, but also wants to make sure that their presence is known. Want to make sure that Sleeping Seals are back at bay, and it looks like they are for the time being. They'll be taking the time to charge up their specials to come back in here, and you've got to watch out for Punchy's Inkjet again. Don't want to let that catch you off guard like it did at the very opening of this map. This armor hopefully is going to provide a little bit of extra protection, as now it looks like Sleeping Seals are collapsing on the zone from multiple angles. Axiom is going to get ganged up on. It is going to fall all the meanwhile. Unlimited Woomy United holding on for the time being, and Sleeping Seals just could not find ink on that zone with all of their specials coming out here. They're trying to look for a little bit more, and Mamet's going to be able to find one. That's going to be the quick cap back as it's a very speedy 3-down situation right as I was starting to question things here. And it's going to be Sleeping Seals that are looking to build up a little bit more purple ink.
Yeah, Sleeping Seals painting around, make sure they get their specials ready for Unlimited Woomy's counter push, and then also making sure that they get in positions to be able to hold. I think it's really important that this time they're able to paint around, which they did. That way they have room to move around when these counter specials come in. Armor and missiles coming out from Unlimited Woomy. Punchy, though, using that Inkjet that we got to see at the beginning of the match. Once again, each team has one member down. It's going to be up to who can get these other picks. Now both teams did have 2 members down, but essentially now with 3 members down of Sleeping Seals, Unlimited Woomy going to be the team who's able to cap the zone.
Tell you what, Uwuzi has demonstrated why they're picking the foil Linkzil Roller here, why they are feeling extremely confident in this weapon that we don't often get to see at a competitive level. You can tell how proficient they are, you can tell how many hours that they've put into this thing, and just how well they're able to take care of business here, being able to find one onto Punchy, contributing to the 3-down for Sleeping Seals, and now the zone cap continuing to expire this penalty for Unlimited Woomy United. The Seals are going to have their work cut out for them to dislodge these members of Uwu trying to get back into the zone.
Unlimited Woomy United just doing a good job at holding the zone, but as I say that, 2 of them do go down. I'm not sure what happened and how they went down there exactly, but Adderley, they're using those bubbles from that squeezer to help get them a pick and help cap the zone. That was really important for them to be able to allow their teammates to push in around them. And with 2 members down, essentially from Unlimited Woomy United, it looks like they actually have 3 specials at the ready. They are using one of their armors, going to use the second armor too to help their teammates push into the zone and see who can get the picks first. Unfortunately, both teams actually have 1 member go down, and Banana here frantically painting, getting this Booyah Bomb at the ready, throwing it at the left side of the map here, and making sure they're actually watching this right flank, also doing a really good job at just guarding this.
Sleeping Seals just weren't able to find the ink on zone. They're able to save their lives for the time being. I say that. Banana goes down on top of this zone, which is going to be huge for Unlimited Woomy United. They're going to be looking for a few more. Axiom able to find one onto a dually here as well. And now, all of a sudden, once more, it's Unlimited Woomy United with control of mid. And now they're looking to continue to build up control of the rest of the map here. In an instant, it suddenly turns all orange. We'll have to see again what the response is from Sleeping Seals, but they have to find these long-range picks. They have to be able to take out this Rapid Pro and these Belugas, and it looks like they're trying to do that now. Inkjet, Ink Armor up in the sky here, and a dually is going to go in on the ground with the bubbles, but somewhere else on the other side of the map where they were trying to approach, they went 2 down. It is just not going to work out this time around. Unlimited Woomy United is going to be punching their ticket into the grand finals.
Ooh, that was another one. That one felt like really back and forth too, like that first game we got to see. And I think that Sleeping Seals did a really good job coming back in and trying to, counter this crazy chip damage that Unlimited Woomy United has. But Unlimited Woomy United was just really on top of their game, making sure that they were playing together and getting the picks that they needed, and just doing a really good job at playing defense too for that Splat Zone's Wahoo.
I mean, everywhere you look, there was someone on Unlimited Woomy United watching. They had all of their bases covered. Any approach you could think about trying to get back into this zone was covered. It was handled. Whether it was Axiom on the Kensic Lugas trying to prevent anyone from coming in on that, normal access side when that drawbridge was down, or, a few other members, whether that be that Rapid Blaster or what have you, watching that side, making sure that no one's coming in from that angle. They had their bases covered, and it was just very difficult to actually, when you've got everybody watching every possible angle, you don't have very many other options, especially when you're a bunch of shorter range shooters that are trying to just run in. They did not have the range in order to fully combat what Unlimited Woomy United was putting out. So we'll have to see. Of course, there are still points up for grabs in that 3rd place match, so we'll have to see what Sleeping Seals can do to try to secure those. But of course, it's Unlimited Woomy United that have this kind of special composition and have a way of looking at the game that's a little bit more unique that we'll be seeing again in Grants.
Yeah, and with the other game right now, the other top 4 match right now, 1-1. So it's Cascade Duck Crew versus SynRG at 1-1. That is so close. And we're going to see who's going to be the ones that are going to move forward to be able to fight Unlimited Woomy United. These games, they keep going 1-1. I mean, we just got to see a 2-0, but it felt like it was really close and back and forth still, so.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, folks. Even though this feels very cutthroat, right? A lot of best of 3s. It's 5 rounds of Swiss to decide whether or not you get into bracket. With so many tournaments left to play in over the course of the season for SAC, there are plenty of opportunities for these teams to earn points to qualify themselves into getting a playoffs ticket. So plenty of time left, as now this only marks the halfway point through the SAC season, with tournaments happening every other week. So if you missed out on this one and you are not in the +2 server or above, come on and join us. Next week, of course, we'll be right here at the same time. But of course, before that, everybody's practicing for Super Jump next week. That's IPL's major coming up here. Then, of course, you'll want to make sure that you are here for that. Plenty of opportunities to find a team, to find a way to play in that tournament. And it should be a lot of fun. There you see it on your screen. July 23rd to the 24th, that is next weekend. And there are plenty of opportunities to find a way to play, whether that be in an early wave, a later wave, whatever time zone you are. We want you here for Super Jump.
Ooh, and K-Bot and I will actually be commentating Super Jump 2, so I'm excited for that. And of course, we have a lot of other good casters for that also. It's going to be a really fun weekend next weekend, for that being, quote unquote, one of the last major for Splatoon 2. Sorry.
Yeah, for Splatoon 2. Time is ticking down for Splatoon 3's release, and we're sure that you are all excited. But of course, we have to be excited for the grand final set that's going to be coming up shortly. We're going to step away while we get that set up for you all, while we wait on the other semifinal match. Don't go anywhere, folks. Grands for Tournament 2 is coming up soon.
Welcome back, everyone, for grand finals of SAC. I am Rissa, joined here by K-Bot, and we are into grand finals. Finally, for top four, the other two teams that were playing, they were at 1-1 when we last left off here on stream. Cascade Duck Crew, of course, ending up being the team that was able to win that set and move on forward into grand finals here. Now, they will be the ones facing Unlimited Woomy United, who we just got to watch on stream. And K-Bot actually was, I think it was K-Bot who was able to recognize these two teams actually previously played each other today. K-Bot, were you able to see how that score was looking?
They did. These two teams met in Swiss round 2. So, like, what, 3 hours ago at this point or something of that nature? 2.5 hours, something of that. Cascade Duck Crew got them 2-0 up on Unlimited Woomy United. But I have to imagine here, with Unlimited Woomy United feeling a little bit more confident about themselves, able to get a 2-0 in the last set, they've probably got to be feeling the momentum here a little bit, whereas Cascade Duck Crew, they might have gone 2-0 through all of their Swiss matches today, but now they're starting to struggle a little bit in bracket. They're forcing game threes, or their opponents are forcing game threes out of them for the past 2 sets. So we'll have to see how this one comes together. Of course, Cascade Duck Crew, we've got Gret, I don't even know how you say this name, Whamsgans, I guess. Sure, we'll go with that. Whamsgams, Koji, and Naives. Junior Slosher, Foil Squeezer, and Neo Splash. So actually a little similar in terms of compositions to what we were seeing come out from the Sleeping Seals in the last set. So I imagine we're going to be seeing very similar gameplay overall as we're getting into this one. Looks like we'll be starting on Splatzone's Anchovy Games, but as a reminder, folks, this is going to be a best of 5 series. We'll make sure we get that graphic updated here. Best of 5 for our finals. A little bit less cutthroat to get things going here, but should definitely be a good one nonetheless.
Yeah, good one nonetheless. And with the Cascade Duck Crew having, similar comp to what we got to see from Sleeping Seals, gonna be really interested to see if and how their team play differentiates and how they're gonna be able to have some type of game plan to play against Unlimited Woomy. I mean, when you're able to previously have played against a team, not only in maybe scrims, but in a tournament on the same day earlier on in the Swiss side of the bracket, you have kind of an idea already of what you're going against and maybe those things that you want to do against the team specifically, whether it's game plan, whether it's a weapon that you want to play. So that makes this all the interesting when Cascade Duck Crew already knows what they're going to be up against.
Yeah, so it definitely should be interesting here as we load into the map. Weapon compositions we were just about expecting here. Woomy on the Neo Splash this time around, opting for that bomb launcher instead of that extra roller to come in here. Should be a good way to continue making sure that this zone is kept for Unlimited Woomy United. And they're just going to be the ones to take care of business right off the rip. Capping the zone first, but now they have to respond to their opponent's 10 missiles. And we just, as we see these two teams feeling each other out, but you'll notice Cascade Duck Crew starting to build up a little bit of momentum here, starting to make Unlimited Woomy United sweat a little and make sure that they don't get their positioning set up, because we know that once Unlimited Woomy United gets set up, it's going to be very difficult to dislodge them. And that's not going to happen this time around.
Ooh, not gonna happen this time around. Cascade Duck Crew, as soon as they were able to get 3 members of Unlimited Woomy there kind of grouped up together, they instantly were able to push up together, get those final picks, and get a complete wipe onto Unlimited Woomy United. So Cascade Duck Crew not faring to sit back and just hold the zone and defend it from the zone. They are pushing up into the other team's street right now, into the other team's office. With 2 members down, though, on Cascade Duck Crew, this is going to be the moment that Unlimited Woomy needed to be able to push in, finally cap the zone, give the other team those penalty points, and now Unlimited Woomy can start doing the same thing, pushing up into the other team's street, getting ready to defend the zone.
They're starting to do that here, and once they start to get set up, it's going to be difficult again, but you'll notice Ingarmer comes out. They're going to start to back on away as Cascade Duck Crew is starting to walk on forward here, but already one is going to go down on their side. 10 missiles coming out here, trying to target some of the members of Unlimited Woomy United and pushing them even further back, but Axiom is able to find one through the splash wall, might be looking for a second one here, and Unlimited Woomy United with a fantastic hold, dissuading the offense from Cascade Duck Crew.
Armor coming out from Unlimited Woomy United too, just to solidify holding this zone, and they're doing such a good job at that. I mean, able to get another pick onto someone from onto that T-Tech K-shot from Cascade Duck Crew, and now Unlimited Woomy only has 5 points left. You can see the bubbles coming out from Koji, trying to stall the zone here, able to stall the zone, and isn't quite able to pop that other bubble. Oh man. Just like that, Unlimited Woomy United able to keep the zone and take game 1.
Desperation strikes, but it is just not enough to take over control of the zone. I think that's one of the reasons why this composition is working for Unlimited Woomy United, is that you're noticing they are heavily focusing on top of this zone. They're making sure they're continuing to just dump paint on top of it. And so even though, you've got one of these members trying to find their way in, trying to find something sneaky to take care of business here for the Cascade Duck crew, it just isn't enough, because you're going to need more than one member in order to come on back in here. You're either going to need more long-range picks, or you're going to need a few members pushing together through these bubbles, through these incomers, to really get something done, as opposed to just sending one person forward. So excellent work there for Unlimited Woomy United to squeak away game one. Well, but now, of course, it's Cascade Duck crew that's been dominant all tournament, going to their counter picks.
And their counter pick actually comes in pretty fast here. So counter pick coming in from Cascade Duck crew is going to be Clam Blitz onto Piranha Pit, a nice big open map. Clam Blitz Piranha Pit has a nice big layout. There's going to be a lot of room for them to be able to move and try and avoid that chip damage that's coming out from Unlimited Woomy United. And I think that's going to be a key point, is they just really have to make sure that they don't fall into that chip damage, make sure they avoid that and play through that.
On the flip side of this, though, when we're talking about opportunities for Unlimited Woomy United to sit back and continue to make the game just much more annoying, I think this map actually could very much play to their strengths as well. When you think about whether they're, sitting on top of these steps, continuing to keep Ink over on top of their zone, or if they find a way to wipe their opponent and get back around to the conveyor belt on the other side of the map, they're going to be continuing to make sure that there's one approach that they just cannot use. So we'll have to see exactly how this one's going to play in, and whether or not the Cascade Duck crew will be sorry that they ended up picking this one. Why did I think it was Splat Zones? I thought it was Splat Zones. We're on Clam Blitz. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. It's Clams, folks. We'll see what happens here.
See what happens here. And weapons coming out from both teams. Actually, a mini Splatling coming out from Unlimited Woomy United this time. So one major weapon switch up that I'm seeing. And with 2 members down right away, actually 3 members down from Cascade Duck crew, that's a complete wipe. Ooh, Unlimited Woomy United instantly taking mid here, getting clams. They do have 14 clams at the ready. You can see they're already starting to push up and trying to get in a position to push this clam into the basket. They're using missiles to just keep this push going.
Yeah, but that said, a little bit difficulty actually finding a way into this zone. Now, Noth trying to sneak on up in here, but of course with that beacon and pointing out exactly where you are of that power claim, it's going to be much more difficult to do just that. Woomy going to go down here as well, and that's going to be the delayed wipe. For Unlimited Woomy United, they're going to have to try to fight their way back through, but all the meanwhile, Cascade Duck crew are going to be the ones building up clams here. They've got a power claim at the ready of their own, but now will they be able to capitalize with a handful of specials online? You see that Burst Bomb Launcher and those bubbles ready to roll here, and now Woozy gets taken down. Noth was close there, but might now at the 2-down situation, there might be an opportunity for the Cascade Duck crew to continue marching on forward, make it a 3-down situation. There's only 2 of them up, and now there's going to be a Woozy coming in from the respawn, able to take care of one, able to make sure that this football doesn't get in the basket, and it's only going to be 1 power clam connecting for the Cascade Duck crew.
What a defense there. Woozy there just dropping down and instantly stopping and ending that push that Cascade Duck crew had going. So with 2 members down, though, of Unlimited Woomy United, you could see that Cascade Duck crew is in mid here, trying to paint, make sure that they don't approach too much. I mean, with the way that Woozy's been playing with that Flingsy, you gotta be careful when you are approaching that. Axiom here pushing up on the left side. There's 3 members of Unlimited Woomy United pushing in through this left area. I love the way that they're playing together, grouping up together, and they are able to take mid through that. And so right now, with 1 member down on Unlimited Woomy United, 2 members down, this is actually the moment that Cascade Duck crew needs. They're pushing up into mid. They do have the bubbles ready to try and start getting push going, but no, the bubbles go down too. So this is really back and forth. Each team just trying to get mid right now.
Yeah, the main problem here with Clam Blitz, of course, is that you need to win 2 fights in a row to really find a way to get into your opponent's basket. And that's, maybe a little less true for Piranha Pit, but it certainly feels true with how these 2 teams are playing right now. Very scrappy back and forth. We're seeing mid trades all over the place. There's another one happens here. for these teams, and we're just not seeing either team really get a firm control of mid and then able to find the final follow-up in order to get back in. And so we're seeing a very low-scoring game, very reminiscent of how Splat Zones might look as well on this map. But nonetheless, we're trying to find a little bit more of a push forward, and there it is. Cascade Duck Crew able to find a power claim in the basket here, but it looks like there's no one else really around to follow up for them. Woomy is able to take care of business here, and Axiom's going to fall back, pick up this power claim, and now there's 2 footballs to the name of Unlimited Woomy United that they'll have the opportunity to make a very large push once they get back to the opposing basket. And here they come, 10 missiles. 2 sets of 10 missiles popped at once alongside this Ink Armor, but 2 go down instantly with the defensive hold here for Cascade Duck Crew. 1 power clam is going to be able to find this basket here, but they don't have enough members to pick up the other one. Will they be able to stay alive for long enough to wait for someone to respawn? No, the bubbles are going to come out here for the Cascade Duck Crew, and so it wasn't quite as much of a push as you might have liked if you were Unlimited Woomy United.
Yeah, not quite as big of a push as you would have wanted, but it did help them get the lead. So right now, with a minute left of this match, that was good for them to at least get the lead. But now with them getting the lead, they do have to make sure that they are on top of their defense. I mean, I came out, you had the perfect word there. This match has been scrappy. This has been scrappy back and forth. And with a complete wipe happening on 2 Unlimited United, Knives is actually going to push up and score this power claim. They only need, what is that, like 1 or 2 more claims to be able to get the lead. They get the power claim in, and the lead flips over to Cascade Duck Crew just like that in the last 30 seconds of this match.
Able to find a few more for the road here as well, and all of a sudden, Limited Woomy United has their work cut out for them here. They're gonna have to pick up this power clam, grab the second power clam, and find a way to make all of this happen. But getting it down to 20, I can't do the math in my head. That's like 3 power clams you're gonna need to be able to find in this basket, and that has been so difficult so far in these matches for both of these teams. It was just Cascade Duck Crew that was able to capitalize. Now, when Limited Woomy United have their opportunity, Noth looks like trying to make a path on that side. It's a 2-9 situation, but the Slosher here is in mid, giving Axiom a little bit of trouble. Will there be another teammate coming in? It looks like there will be. Noth trying to move on forward, but here come the bubbles out of the Cascade Duck Crew, and it's going to be enough to take care of the 2 members that were pushing closest to the basket. And all the meanwhile, another fight was won on the other side for Cascade Duck Crew. They are going to be the ones to take this game. And folks, we have a set.
Oh, we do have a set. Right now, the score is 1-1. And remember, everyone, this is a best-of-5 set for grand finals. So we are in for a treat. I mean, that match was so back and forth, scrappy like K-Bot said. And then all of a sudden, just like that, getting a huge push for Cascade Duck Crew, and just really, as soon as they got that push to it, they got that huge lead, and then their defense was really, really awesome there right at the end too. Koji having those bubbles at the ready, just there's nothing you can do when you're trying to approach those bubbles like that. That was really good for them.
Yeah, especially hiding behind that block, right? Making sure that you're going to stay alive, and then being able to pop out, say, surprise, here are your bubbles, take these for the road instead of your clams. Just going to be that much more difficult to actually find a way through. But now it is going to be the counter pick of Unlimited Woomy United, and they're taking us to tower control on Manta Maria. Lots of long-range threats here that I could see potentially playing to their favor.
Oh my gosh, when I think about Unlimited Woomy United's comp right now, and just the chip damage that they have, all the tight spaces of this map, I could see this really, really coming into play for their comps. And for Cascade Duck Crew, I mean, it feels like as long as Cascade Duck Crew can really utilize any picks that they do get on Unlimited Woomy and play really fast, I think they have a really good chance at this also. But I mean, they're gonna have to be really careful about how they approach Unlimited Woomy United with all the ledges and all the tight spaces of this map.
You said it right there, ledges. There are 2 players on Limited Woomy United that love using a roller. And those are the things that these rollers are really going to be looking for, is trying to find those ledges, trying to find those surprise angles onto their opponents. And so if you're Cascade Duck Crew, you're going to have to find a way to play around maybe these bubbles. You're going to have to find other ways to try to locate some of these members and pick them out before they become problems for you. And we'll have to see if they're able to do that. Now loading on to game 3, of course, in this best of 5. Tower control Manta Maria. Let's see if any of these teams have anything special cooking up for us. It looks like actually we're going to see a Tri-Slosher coming out here of the Cascade Duck crew this time around. We'll have to see if it plays to their favor here, having that second armor at the ready.
Yeah, that was my first thought. Having another armor for Cascade Duck Crew just might be a really big factor in helping them avoid all the chip damage that does come out from Unlimited Woomy United. Already, both teams having one armor come out here right away as each team is in mid trying to fight for the tower. With one member going down on Unlimited Woomy United, we see Gret here starting to push the tower, gets 2 picks while they're at it, just runs forward and gets 2 picks and is going to head back to the tower, start riding the tower to that first checkpoint. We see Wobbs there on that Tri-Slosher getting in a position to start putting aggression up on top left.
Already this first checkpoint cleared for the Cascade Duck crew. Let's see how much further they can continue to push this. But Knives a little bit further back right now for this Nautilus. Now has this Inkjet up at the ready, and so we might see the aggression comes out. And indeed, there it does. Going up in the air, is able to find the assist on the one. Now looking for a second here. Have to be careful of these rollers. Again, really like sitting around these ledges. And it's another 3-down situation all of a sudden. That Inkjet able to provide enough of a distraction for the rest of the members of Cascade Duck crew to come in. They're going to be able to clear past the second checkpoint, and they're going to be looking to get towards this third checkpoint very quickly.
Yeah, they are just pushing through these points right now. And I mean, with Wobbs there on that Tri-Slosher just being an aggression, being a distraction too, that's really important when it comes to it. Able to push the tower into this third checkpoint. Gret there just riding the tower and was just able to hop on and completely KO the tower. Cascade Duck crew very dominantly taking this game 3.
It just didn't look like there was a game plan for Unlimited Woomy United. I think a lot of the things that we've been seeing out of them so far have been very thoughtful, very, okay, I'm going to sit in this position. I'm going to wait for X thing to happen before I show myself. It didn't feel like they were practiced on that map quite at all. They weren't able to set up shop. They weren't able to try to play around and try to use those checkpoints to their advantage, right? That's exactly the reason why those checkpoints are there. Providing that opportunity for that tower to stall, get yourself set up, and then try to, counterattack right on top of that tower. A lot of time we see specials come out to try to get used to try to cancel that out. But that's one of the weaknesses here, actually, of the Unlimited Woomy United composition. They don't have a lot of these specials that you're thinking of. They have a handful of ink armors maybe to try to throw at you, right? There's not much else they can try to do in order to just convincingly take back turf in the push of a button. And so instead they're trying to opt to use their main weapons. And obviously they're incredibly proficient at doing that, but just not able to find the setups there on that last map. We'll have to see what comes of their final counter pick here. It's Clamblitz Snapper Canal as they're playing with their tournament live.
Ooh, so this is game for Cascade Duck Crew if they are able to win this counter pick coming up from Unlimited Woomy United. So it's going to be really, really onto Unlimited Woomy to just hold it down and take on Cascade Duck Crew right now if they want to take this to a game 5. And I think, thinking back about that tower control Manta game that we just watched, it was almost like, Unlimited Woomy didn't have time to get in a position to be able to get their specials. Cascade Duck Crew, it just felt like they turned on their aggression and were just constantly putting up pressure and making it really difficult for Unlimited Woomy to even have time to get their specials. So maybe with this open map, Snapper Canal, they're going to be able to have that space to be able to stay back from Cascade's aggression and actually get their specials to be able to, get their pushes that they want.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what comes of this here. As you mentioned, maybe you're trying to feel more comfortable on this, but right now, I mean, if you're in Limited Woomy United, you're probably not feeling too well. This team they're going up against has now won 4 games over you. You're looking at this next one. Of course, you have to try to win 2 more to try to take the tournament. And it looks like they're going to be switching up their composition quite considerably on this map, throwing a lot out the window. Forge Pro. I don't even know the name of the weapon because it's been so long since I've seen that thing. Alongside this Squiffer. Very interesting to see this mix up.
Yeah, definitely a big switch up from what we've been seeing from Unlimited Woomy United. And with 3 members going down right now, that's a complete wipe for Unlimited Woomy United. You can see Cascade Duck Crew here getting their clams at the ready, able to instantly score this power climb in. There we go. Able to score the power climb in. and able to get a few more points, but does have 2 members go down, though 2 members do go down also onto Unlimited Woomy United. A few more clams able to score in from Cascade Duck Crew. Koji is just being an absolute nuisance up here at the basket. Finally, though, Unlimited will be able to stop Koji, start trying to push in a mid, and has to play this really careful, make sure that they don't go down too much and get in a position to get their specials.
That was amazing just how quickly Cascade Duck Crew was able to build up 2 power clams and throw them into the basket. It was like a blink of an eye. All of a sudden they were there the second that they found out that they had the Squid advantage. But now Unlimited Woomy United might be looking to build up a little bit of advantage of their own as Noth is able to find one on that Swiffer. And a power clam's going to go in the basket. Looks like one's going to go down on top of the spawn here. And we're looking to see a few more trades here as Unlimited Woomy United continue trickling in these clams. It's another 3-down situation for Cascade Duck Crew. It's going to allow more opportunity. That clam spawn was perfect for Woomy to go back and pick this up, and now all of a sudden Uwu has the lead here. They're going to be looking to try to find a little bit more, but a mom's going to get thrown into these bubbles, catching one of these members off guard. Now both these rollers are down, and that is going to be the wipe at the end of the push. A fantastic opening push for Unlimited Woomy United, and we'll have to see exactly what comes to the rest of this game. We're only 2 minutes in. There is so much time for more pushes to be made.
Yeah, only 2 minutes in, and this is how the match is starting. This is quite the game to have for a match point coming in for Cascade Duck Crew. So right now, both teams into mid here, starting to push in. Noth actually getting that nice snipe there onto Knives, and that's going to allow their teammates to be able to push up even more and just keep holding this mid area. You can see that Unlimited Woomy has 15 clams at the ready, 18 clams at the ready. They are counting down clams, getting ready for potentially another big push. They just have to make sure they don't go down and play this defense carefully.
Noth has been finding so many picks so far in this match. I don't even know how you could find some of those angles, but nonetheless, 2-down situation for Cascade Duck Crew already. One of the members of Unlimited Woomy United is going to be jumping back to a teammate. Now Woomy starting to get in position, might be allowing for these power clam jumps to come in here, but it looks like they're going to be pushing out with the bubbles here. You see that coming in. You see another power clam is soon to follow, and there it is. Now down to the 29-point mark. Might be looking to try to add in a few more, but with 2 members going down, it's going to be looking very rough for anyone else to get added in. Woomy is just going to be forced to back on away as the rest of the members of the Cascade Duck Crew are trying to chase this down. And now, again, they've got to find a way to build up map control. They have to find a way to get these pushes moving quickly like we saw them do at the very beginning of this set.
Yeah, they have to make sure that they get in a position to have another push on their side. So with 2 members down right now on the side of Unlimited Woomy, this could be exactly what Cascade Duck Crew needed to get a push going. They have 20 clams at the ready. They have Knives here pushed up along with their Slosher. So with the jump in, able to score that power clam in. And there's 2 members down right now on the side of Unlimited Woomy. This is exactly what Cascade Duck Crew needs to keep scoring clams in to be able to potentially get the lead. They just have to make sure they keep getting clams in the basket. The lead is so close, and there it is. Cascade Duck Crew taking the lead here and actually completely KOing that push. What a push. Oh my goodness. That's it for Cascade Duck Crew taking SAC today.
They're just going to be able to take care of business there. That sounds like the dominating fashion that we saw from them at the very beginning of this broadcast. They're going to pull it out here in finals versus Unlimited Woomy United. Just so quick to the punch, able to take care of business, coordinate all their specials, make sure that they know exactly who is carrying what clams to get them into the basket as soon as possible. And they are able to secure the victory here today, getting themselves on top of, pretty well up there on the standings for SAC Season 5. After not having played at all last week, you have to know they have to be feeling pretty happy about this one.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite the dominating, last push there. And having the points that they already have in SAC, winning this one, I mean, I agree. They have to be feeling really, really good. And they're sitting really, really good in the tournament so far.
Yeah, definitely sitting pretty well. And of course, folks, those standings yet to be finalized. Hopefully those will be going up on Twitter and in Discord within the next few days. But nonetheless, congratulations to both these teams, actually, for coming out here. Unlimited Woomy United had 4th last week, now 2nd this week. They've got to be feeling pretty good about themselves here as well. So hats off to them. And of course, all of these teams are going to be looking to continue to play in SAC tournaments. If you didn't get the chance to join us this week and you're not in +2 or above, you are eligible. Come on by for SAC. We'll be back here in 2 weeks for the next tournament. But of course, before that, it's Super Jump, Rissa.
Oh, yeah. Before that, we have Super Jump next weekend. So don't forget, if you are not set to play in it yet, it's going to be next weekend, July 23rd through the 24th, a 2-day online tournament. Don't forget that is happening next weekend. It's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be so many teams coming out. We get to probably see almost everyone in competitive Splatoon from all levels next weekend.
Yeah, should be definitely a good time here. So much Splatoon to be played during that weekend. It is next weekend, July 23rd and 24th. You can find more info at start.gg/SJ2. Be sure you keep it up to date with all things there. And we will see you back here next week. I believe, I could be wrong, I think there's also an SOS next week. So if you're looking for a little bit more practice, IPL still has you covered. Be sure to join in on that Wednesday evening. But that's going to do it for the broadcast from us today. Rissa, any other closing thoughts here?
Nope, no other closing thoughts. I thought it was really great to watch these teams that I haven't necessarily got to play too much, and I had a blast. Thanks for having me, IPL. That's about it for me.
Yeah, of course. Find Rissa on Twitter at RissaHigh. I'm KBot_273 on Twitter. And we hope you enjoyed the show today. Thank you all so much for watching, and we hope you're staying tuned for all of the different events that IPL has coming your way. Make sure to drop on a follow, turn on that notification bell, follow the Twitter, whole 9 yards to make sure you're staying up to date with some of the best Splatoon tournaments there are to offer. So with that, folks, we are going to sign off. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll catch you all back here for the next event. Take care, everyone.